Chapter 1597. Hearing the warning voice. Lin Fei's face revealed a hint of nervousness. I know. The voice disappeared. Lin Fei thought to himself, it seems that the first level can be cultivated for 10 years. The lower levels might have at least 10 years. This is not bad. The matter of opening the experience treasure chest was temporarily put on hold. 3 days later, Lin Fei finally stood up. The rulers who had been absorbing divinity also noticed, but they all revealed cold smiles. Some people who knew each other spread the news. I don't know where this person came from, but his potential is so poor. He cultivated for 10 years. Maybe he will be sent away after a few levels. That's for sure. Lin Fei didn't care much. Lin Fei really wasn't interested in talking to these people. In 10 years, his divinity points had reached 100 billion, and he had opened the experience treasure chest. It could be said that he had activated the nouveau riche mode. How could Lin Fei not be excited? If not for the divine altar, he didn't know how long it would take for him to reach this step. At least, it wouldn't be that fast. Compared to the 2 top-grade ruler treasures, Lin Fei could only chuckle. This return was not ordinary. If Void Noon Ruler knew the situation now, his expression would definitely be very ugly. If he had known this would happen, he would have extorted more good things from the beginning. Lin Fei's main body and clone instantly switched places. He stood in front of the black stone tablet. The stone tablet wasn't very tall, only about 10 feet or so. It was completely black and quite extraordinary. Lin Fei stood in front of it and didn't see a name. After 10 years, he already knew what was going on. Only the moment a name was left behind would the name appear on the stone tablet. Boom! Lin Fei took a deep breath and unhurriedly punched the stone tablet. Lin Fei, first level of divine refinement, first level of divinity. Seeing the name above, Lin Fei breathed a sigh of relief. He was really afraid that Di Tian's name would be left behind. That would be troublesome. There would still be people who knew the name Di Tian, especially with regards to the battle fortress. It was better to be safe than sorry. There was nothing more suitable than to reveal the 2 words Lin Fei. At least for now, no one would associate him with the 2 words Di Tian. Very soon, Lin Fei looked at the name on the stone tablet. He couldn't find his own name. The first name on the stone tablet caught Lin Fei's eyes. It turns out that young master Luo Xian, the head of the 10 great young masters, is ranked first. He's the potential ruler of the Jingyi school. His potential is limitless, and his divinity levels are actually at the 52nd level. His potential was indeed terrifying. Lin Fei remembered a few of the names at the end of the list. He was most familiar with the names of the 10 princes, followed by the potential sovereign, Brahmin. 40 divisions of divinity. Sovereign Su Feng has 38 levels of divinity. Lin Fei saw 2 familiar names on the stone stele, Young Lord Fan and Hegemon Su Feng. They really are people with bloodlines. Their divinity levels are actually so high. I wonder what's the use of this divinity level. Lin Fei wasn't very clear about this. As the guiding power landed on his body again, Lin Fei slowly left the first level. However, at this time, everyone on this level frowned. His potential is too weak. Only 1 divinity level. Maybe that kid won't be able to pass the next level. Lin Fei, where is he from? Why did he give himself such a lousy name? He must be from the countryside. Otherwise, how could he only have 1 divinity level? On the peak of the Divine Mountain, in one of the Senfa Mountains, the Void Noon Sovereign was in a good mood these days, sending 1 person in and obtaining 2 supreme-grade sovereign treasures, greatly increasing his strength. This was a good deal. As for offending the Windfire Sacred Mountain and the Heartless, the Void Noon Sovereign didn't care much. After settling one matter, the Void Noon Sovereign didn't pay attention to it anymore. Hey, it's that kid. Inadvertently, the Void Noon Sovereign saw a person leaving a divine altar and heading to the next divine altar. He immediately recognized him. Why is this kid so slow? He actually only left the first level now. The Void Noon Sovereign couldn't help but frown. Logically speaking, this shouldn't be the case. Could it be that the kid's talent was very poor? He isn't from my Sky Void Gate. Why should I worry so much? The Void Noon Sovereign didn't think about it anymore. Damn, kid, so your potential is so weak. You wasted 2 of my spots. In another Senfu, the Wandering Hunter ruler was roaring. Fortunately, the Senfu had a formation. Otherwise, everyone outside would know. Ever since the Wandering Hunter ruler returned that day, he had been suppressing a fire in his heart. He had secretly arranged for people to investigate that person's background. In the end, those people didn't know anything. This made the Wandering Hunter ruler very unhappy. A person who appeared out of thin air, unable to find out the other party's background. The Wandering Hunter ruler could only give up. Every day, the Wandering Hunter ruler would pay attention to the matters on the divine altars, especially the few disciples he took in later. They all had good potential and broke through very quickly. That hateful brat had yet to appear. After seeing it today, the Wandering Hunter ruler was so angry that he almost vomited blood. This kid's potential was getting worse and worse. He actually used 10 years to break through. This was equivalent to a waste of his qualifications. If it was possible, the Wandering Hunter ruler wished he could go up and give him 2 tight slaps. If your potential isn't good, just say it. Why must you enter? Lin Fei didn't know what the people outside were thinking. Right now, he was being guided to the 2nd level of the divine altars. Master, there is indeed a problem here. Fortunately, you used a substitute. The excitement on Lin Fei's face also calmed down. Just now, when I punched the stone tablet, when my name appeared on it, I felt like a strand of my divine soul was guided to the stone tablet. I thought that I was mistaken. So it was real. Lin Fei had always been suspicious about the divine general platform. In terms of cultivation techniques, Lin Fei chose to be very careful. When he left his name on the stone tablet, Lin Fei was also very careful. As expected, he found some clues. It wasn't your divine soul that was guided to the stone tablet. Instead, it was a type of energy on the stone tablet. It's so subtle that it can't be seen. It's wrapped around your primordial spirit. If you don't believe me, you can go and take a look for yourself. Lin Fei switched to a different body and began to carefully examine it. As it was a substitute, it was exactly the same and also had a primordial spirit. After careful examination, Lin Fei indeed found a strand of golden thread on his primordial spirit. If not for the little devil's reminder, he might not have been able to see it. It was very well hidden. If I knew it, there's no free meal here. Lin Fei secretly rejoiced that he had been careful. Chapter 1598. Lin Fei wasn't willing to be schemed against by others. At that time, it was uncertain who would be scheming against whom. No matter what conspiracy existed in the divine general platform, for him, this place was a good place to level up. He would take advantage of the benefits here first. If the conspiracy was really exposed, it would be the other party who would cry, not Lin Fei's side. At worst, he would just take the benefits and run away. On the 2nd floor, Lin Fei found that the divinity here was more sacred than before, which made him overjoyed. There were many people on this floor. The 4 people who came in with him were now gone. Lin Fei didn't need to think to know that they had gone to the next floor. He had stayed on the 1st floor for 10 years. As long as they didn't crawl at the speed of a tortoise, they would have left long ago. Lin Fei found a place with few people, set up an array, and began to enter cultivation mode. At the same time, he secretly asked the little devil to pay attention to the divinity levels on this floor. He believed that each floor had a limit. Lin Fei had to figure it out. Otherwise, if he was eliminated, he wouldn't even have a place to cry. Half a month later, Lin Fei figured out the situation. This floor was still the peak of the first level of divine refinement, and what was improved was the divinity levels. At present, on this floor, the more powerful ones were only around the 20th level. As for entering the next floor, the lowest divinity level was at least the 8th level. Lin Fei was relieved. Upgrading and replacing the original body, he absorbed divinity points just like that. Lin Fei felt that it was too troublesome to switch back and forth. At least on this 300th floor, he didn't need to fight and wasn't afraid of being seen through. He devoted himself to the great cause of collecting divinity points. Of course, the most important thing, Lin Fei didn't forget. Experience treasure chest. Open the experience treasure chest. This matter had been on his mind for a long time. A way for tycoons to level up. Lin Fei was looking forward to it. Now he could finally start. Experience treasure chest opening. A three-dimensional image appeared in front of Lin Fei. He was the only one who could see it clearly. A huge treasure chest appeared in front of Lin Fei. It was completely golden. Little Devil appeared on Lin Fei's shoulder. How is it? This is exciting enough, right? Lin Fei's heart was beating faster. How could he not be excited? Of course it is. When the treasure chest appeared, Lin Fei checked its description. Lin Fei was amused by what he saw. It's really as I thought. Not only does it give a lot of experience points, but it can also give invincibility points, equipment, treasures, and techniques. It's really good stuff. Lin Fei's face quickly darkened again. Damn, so expensive. Lin Fei sucked in a breath of cold air after seeing the number marked below. It was really a nouveau riche who could afford to play. He even understood why it had to be opened after 100 billion divinity points. Is it expensive? It's not expensive at all. Little Demoness giggled. Many people want to open treasure chests, but don't have the chance. This is a way for tycoons to level up. It turned out that opening the experience treasure chest required 500,000 divinity points. Lin Fei sucked in a breath of cold air. Now, 50 million divinity points a day was equivalent to 100 times a day. This method was really played by tycoons. Fortunately, there is no limit to the number of times. Who said there isn't? Little Demoness struck back. This is a level 1 experience treasure chest. It can be opened exactly 100 times a day. As you open more and more times, the experience treasure chest will also level up. The higher the level, the better the things inside. Isn't it exciting? This is a bottomless pit. Lin Fei previously felt that 50 million divinity points a day was a lot, but now it really didn't seem like much. Following what Little Demoness said, Lin Fei looked over. Experience treasure chest, level 1. Distance to level up. 100,000 times required. Currently able to open Dominator grade equipment, Dominator grade techniques, and a large amount of experience points. 100,000 times? Lin Fei shook his head powerlessly. It seems that I have to throw the next divinity points into this bottomless pit. 100,000 times, 100 times a day. The time was really endless, and it would take more than 3 years. If it wasn't on the spiritual pedestal, when would he succeed? Thinking of this, Lin Fei's mood improved again. Although Dominator-grade weapons and the like were not of interest to Lin Fei for the time being. If the system could recycle them, it would be good to exchange them for divinity points. Ding! Opening the experience treasure chest requires 500,000 divinity points. Confirm to open? Open! Although Lin Fei had played this method many times, Lin Fei was still very excited. This was related to his great cause of leveling up. Ding! Opening. Lin Fei saw that his divinity points had decreased by 500,000. The experience treasure chest in the 3D virtual world was opened. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining 10 billion experience points. Lin Fei didn't expect to get anything good the first time. Continue. 100 times a day. Lin Fei definitely wouldn't waste it. It was related to leveling up the experience treasure chest so that he could get better things for himself. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining low-grade radiant armor. Lin Fei smiled. His luck wasn't bad. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining 10 billion experience points. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining 20 billion experience points. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining 10 billion experience points. Lin Fei experienced what it meant to be a tycoon leveling up. This method was too cool. Although he was very unhappy that he kept giving out experience points. Why couldn't he get some ruler equipment? With a large amount of experience points, Lin Fei's leveling up was also constantly increasing. After 100 times, he had increased by a full 1/3. In less than 3 days, he could level up. This speed also stunned Lin Fei. Among the 100 times, most of them were experience points. There were very few pieces of equipment and techniques, and occasionally there were a few invincibility points. Lin Fei was quite satisfied with this. Who could compare with him in this leveling method? Now, he just had to work hard to earn divinity points. In less than an hour, 50 million divinity points were used up just like that. It felt very cool. The extra ruler treasures were useless, so Lin Fei took them and recycled them. The recycled divinity points made Lin Fei dumbfounded. This was too black. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining 30 billion experience points. Ding! Congratulations, player, for advancing to 7-star ruler. Lin Fei smiled. For 3 consecutive days, Lin Fei quickly broke through to the 7-star ruler realm. For him, realms were useless, but he could loosen some restrictions, such as the system absorbing divinity points. With this breakthrough in realm, the system could absorb 50 million divinity points and quickly increased to 80 million divinity points. It increased by 30 million divinity points, which made Lin Fei quite excited. After the realm upgrade, Lin Fei didn't hide it and let it be at the 7-star ruler realm. Anyway, it was very normal to break through here. Lin Fei's following days were very leisurely. There were 100 lucky draws every day, and the next thing was to convert divinity points. Opening the experience treasure chest every day was one of Lin Fei's favorite things. There was nothing better than this. Of course, Lin Fei also became the slowest person on this level. In the blink of an eye, it was the 4th year. Lin Fei's divinity points had also reached the 3rd level. This was deliberately done. If one really wanted to compare the divinity points, Lin Fei would be the fastest one to absorb. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lin Fei absorbed divinity points every day. With a full 80 million divinity points, he could save 900 million divinity points in a month. After 4 years, he could save more than 30 billion divinity points, although the progress was very slow compared to the previous years. At this time, Lin Fei had already broken through to the 8-star ruler realm. Breaking through from the 8-star ruler realm to the 9-star ruler realm required a huge amount of experience points, and the number of levels needed was also a terrifying number. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining 10 billion experience points. Ding! Experience treasure chest opened 100,000 times, upgraded to level 2. This was something that Lin Fei had been looking forward to. After spending a lot of divinity points, he could finally upgrade it. When he reached the level 2 treasure chest that Lin Fei was looking forward to, he might be able to open something good. After opening the chest 100,000 times, there was nothing good at all. Lin Fei had always suspected that this level 1 treasure chest was a scam. There were no good things, only experience points. Experience treasure chest upgrading. After waiting for the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, there was a notification from the system. Lin Fei still had 23 chances left for today. Experience treasure chest, level 2. Distance to upgrade, 1 million times. Able to open a large amount of experience points, ruler treasure, Heavenly God treasure. Heavenly God cultivation technique. Seeing this, Lin Fei's eyes lit up again. The things were obviously much better. Heavenly God equipment and Heavenly God cultivation technique appeared. Were Heavenly God equipment and divine artifacts on the same level? There were also God and Heavenly God cultivation techniques. Lin Fei was very looking forward to it. What made him very unhappy was that every time he opened the experience treasure chest, it used to cost 500,000 divinity points. Now he needed 1 million divinity points. The number of times he opened it per day had also increased to 150. Damn! In a day, the divinity points needed to be consumed was a terrifying number. Lin Fei decided not to think about it anymore. If he had money, he would open it. If not, he would not open it. 1 million times to upgrade to level 3 treasure chest. Lin Fei temporarily stopped thinking about it. 1 million divinity points per try. At least something good will come out. In the first 100,000 times he opened the chest, the best that Lin Fei got was 5 supreme grade ruler treasures. As for high grade ruler treasures, there were also quite a few, at least 100 of them. The chances of opening it were not high. Congratulations to player for obtaining Heavenly God equipment, Water Fantasy. Lin Fei's mouth was wide open. Damn, when did my luck become so good? I actually obtained Water Fantasy, and it's a Heavenly God equipment. Lin Fei hurriedly opened the system storage to check the treasure. Water Fantasy, low-grade Heavenly God equipment. Can summon the protection of the Water God. Effect lasts for 30 minutes. Can be used 10 times. Lin Fei already understood that this was a defensive treasure that could summon the Water God. If there was no one else, Lin Fei really wanted to take it out to have a look. But now forget it. This Heavenly God's treasure was blue in color and looked very feminine. If it was not in danger, Lin Fei would definitely not wear it. It was really not suitable. He would put it aside for now. If he really did not need it, he would give it to someone in the future. Just this treasure alone made Lin Fei quite excited. Chapter 1599. On the peak of the Divine Mountain. Rulers with potential constantly entered the divine pedestal. And the rulers with potential were constantly showing off, relying on their own strength to quickly reach the divine pedestal. Many sects were beaming with joy because of this. Among them, young Master Luo Xian, who was the leader of the 10 great young masters, had already reached the 299th level and was about to step into the next stage. He was recognized as the #1 ruler with potential. Following behind him were naturally the 10 great young masters. The gap between them wasn't big. Apart from the 10 great young masters, there were also rulers who were not inferior to the 10 great young masters. This group of rulers with potential were included in the first stage. The rulers in the second stage were basically above the 150th level, infinitely close to the 200th level. Every one of them had considerable potential, and it wouldn't be difficult for them to become rulers of 9 stars in the future. It was just a matter of strength. There were the most rulers in this stage. There were only a handful of people at the peak, so naturally there couldn't be too many. The middle stage, which was the second stage, had the most rulers with potential. The rest were the third stage. People of this stage were all between the 50th and 150th level. Those who could reach the divine pedestal and reach this area also had a certain amount of potential. As long as they could leave the divine pedestal, their status in the sect wouldn't be too low in the future. At least they would have a higher status than ordinary rulers. On this day, a person came to the Demon Mystic Sect area. The Demon Mystic Sect was one of the 8 major sects, a top sect in the territory or even a super sect. No one knew what this sect's ranking among the 8 major sects was, but at least no one dared to ignore one thing. Everyone's overall strength shouldn't be much different. The Demon Mystic Sect sent a total of 5 peak 8-star rulers this time, and any one of them was very powerful. They carved out a large area on the peak of the Divine Mountain. It became a forbidden area. Trespassers were killed without mercy. No one would be bold enough to dare to enter this forbidden area, unless someone thought their life was too long and couldn't wait to reincarnate. At this time, in the demon mystic sect Senfu, several 8-star rulers were sitting together, with a horizontal table in front of them, filled with wine and fruits. This brat black sage is not bad. He has already reached the 295th level and is about to enter the next stage. I believe his demon god body will reach another level. That goes without saying. Luo Xian is only at the 299th level. The gap is not very big. He will catch up soon. At that time, Jingyi school will be very pleased. Ha ha ha. If our dark saint can suppress Luo Xian this time, our demon mystic sect will be able to vent our anger. At least we can let them know who has the strongest potential among the top 10 young masters. It's not necessarily Luo Xian. The 5 sovereigns seated here were all hegemons. The demonic qi around him soared into the sky, turning into layers of demonic domains, displaying his powerful strength. They were the only ones who were unaffected when they sat together. If anyone with low strength were to approach them, just the aura of the demon domain would cause them to fall into a demonic trance and become a walking corpse. Right now, all of the hegemons were in an extremely good mood. Hegemon Dark Sage, whom they favored the most, had reached the 295th level. He was only 4 levels away from young Master Luo Xian, the leader of the 10 princes. For one of the 8 major sects, the demon mystic sect, it was definitely a proud thing. If they could replace him, it would be even better. They were also very optimistic about Hegemon Dark Sage. He was the ruler with the most potential in their sect. There was no one else like him. His future achievements were limitless. This was something that everyone was optimistic about. This is just the beginning. Maybe someone is hiding his strength. For example, that Di Tian. Rumor has it that he obtained the battle fortress and fought against thousands of sovereigns at the 5-star realm. In the end, he seized the battle fortress. I wonder how the rumor spread. They all laughed. They had naturally received news of this matter, but they did not pay much attention to it. How could a battle fortress appear in the hands of a 5-star sovereign? It was extremely ridiculous. Everyone knew that the remaining 3 battle fortresses had been lost long ago. Until now, there had been no news of them. When they first heard this news, they did not pay much attention to it. However, they did not let it go and put out a bounty. Until now, there had been no news. It was as if Di Tian had never appeared. There was no trace of him. There had been no news from the bounty either. As for falsely claiming the bounty, no one dared to do so in front of the demon mystic sect. Speaking of Di Tian, this old man suddenly thought of something. Isn't there someone quite famous recently? I think his name is Feng Yun or something. Oh, right, his name is Feng Yun without a trace. He has been plundering divinity crystals and god roots in the lower and middle regions. Some time ago, he fought with 100 8-star sovereigns and caused quite a commotion. So it's Feng Yun Wuhen. I've heard of him too. He seems to be a 6-star sovereign. His combat strength is very strong, and he can kill people above his level. There are also rumors that he has the space bloodline. I wonder how it came about. Actually, you don't have to care about this kind of person. I don't even know where he came from. What's the big deal about fighting 100 8-star sovereigns alone? Any one of our demon mystic sects, potential sovereigns, can do this. As for the space bloodline, forget about it. Even in our demon mystic sect. Only that elder has such a bloodline. Ha ha ha, let's drink. In this region, they were waiting for news. Report, someone accepted our bounty and said that he knows who Di Tian is. He is outside. Should we bring him in? A sovereign came in from outside. The 5 sovereigns put down their wine glasses. One of the black-robed sovereigns said, "Bring him in." Yes. The sovereign turned around and left. Interesting. Someone really knows who Di Tian is. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. As long as he's here, we're not afraid of him. Anyone would be jealous of the bounty. Without solid evidence, no one would dare to accept the bounty. The demon mystic sect was not to be trifled with. They wanted to see who knew about Tion's background. They still attached great importance to a battle fortress. They were one of the 8 major sects and were extremely powerful. If they could obtain a battle fortress, their influence would expand again. Their overall strength would also increase greatly. At that time, they would be ranked first among the 8 major sects and become the leader of the 8 major sections. This was a great temptation. They would not give up even the slightest chance. After a while, the previous sovereign came in with another sovereign. "You can go in." The sovereign turned around and left, leaving the sovereign behind. "I'm extermination." "Greetings, 5 sovereigns." The sovereign knelt on the ground as soon as he came in. Chapter 1600. In Senfu, the sovereign of annihilation knelt on the ground. As he saw it, this wasn't a loss of face. Who hadn't been a nobody? He was merely a 3-star ruler. On this sacred mountain, he was as weak as an ant. In front of these sovereigns, they could poke him to death with a single finger, and they wouldn't even need a second attack to turn him into dust. It was precisely because of this that the chief sovereign of annihilation had come. This was a chance for him to make a comeback, and there was only one chance. The extermination dominus had to give it a try no matter what. The reward made him extremely envious. But this was not the most important thing. "Your name is Extermination, Chief Sovereign." The calm voice carried a tone that could not be defied. It was as if mountains were pressing down on the extermination dominus, making it hard for him to breathe. "I am." The annihilation dominus answered honestly. "I heard that you have some information regarding this Tion. I don't know where you learned this from, but it sounds nice, but you need to understand that if there is even the slightest bit of falsehood in your words, you know what will happen." The chief hegemon, crazed, stared at the chief hegemon of extermination. The extermination sovereign's back was instantly covered in cold sweat, as though he was about to fall into his opponent's demonic domain. "I came from the same world as Tion." The chief sovereign of annihilation said hurriedly. He didn't want to attract the other party's killing intent because of a tiny bit of hesitation. It would be far too easy for a minor figure like him to be killed. Ever since the last time he saw that screen of light in Sky City, the chief sovereign of extermination immediately recognized him. Perhaps the Skyend hegemon, the Windrain hegemon, and the others didn't necessarily believe it to be Tion, but the extermination hegemon was absolutely certain that this person was Tion. There was no way it could be false. The extermination sovereign remembered Tion very clearly. Although they had never fought before, there was no one in the continent who did not know of Tion's name. He was a fellow from the lower realms who had risen to prominence. In the beginning, the chief sovereign of annihilation didn't pay much attention to him. So what if this fellow from the lower realms had outstanding talent? As long as he didn't become a chief sovereign, he could do whatever he wanted. What happened afterwards, however, caused the chief sovereign of extermination to be stupefied. Tion had been making breakthroughs, and unknowingly he had become a sovereign. Furthermore, his strength wasn't inferior to the extermination sovereign's. This made the extermination sovereign, who had been famous for a long time, feel as if his entire lifetime of cultivation had been wasted. There were feelings of jealousy and jealousy. The extermination sovereign didn't show it. In addition, at that time the Immortal Court and the Immortal Gate Palace were in constant conflict. He buried his thoughts in his heart. This continued until the divine general stage began. After arriving at Sky City, the extermination dominus had chosen to stay in the safe zone when faced with various experts. When he heard that Tion was going to leave, he couldn't wait for Tion to go to his death. However, who knew that Tion would obtain such good luck the moment he left? In the beginning, the annihilation dominus didn't know what a battle fortress was. Later on, he finally learned what it was from the mouths of others, and he was instantly envious. Why wasn't he the one who got the battle fort? As soon as this thought appeared, it immediately got out of hand. When he heard that 80% of the sovereigns of Empyrean City were going, the extermination sovereign believed that Di Tian would definitely suffer the consequences of his actions. However, the results shocked him yet again. The sovereigns had all been killed. This was the conclusion the Sovereign of Annihilation had reached after personally making a trip there. This frightened the extermination sovereign badly. That rising star, Di Tian, was actually so terrifyingly strong. Even the extermination sovereign wasn't a match for him. 5-star ruler? Terrifying combat power. Regardless of the reason, the extermination dominus had completely given up. He could not afford to offend such a person. Once again, he buried this matter in his heart. As for what happened afterward, the extermination sovereign naturally entered the Divine Mountain and suffered a lot along the way. He was almost killed several times, and he also lost contact with sovereigns Windrain and the others. The extermination sovereign was very lucky. On his way to the upper region, he also heard about the demon mystic sect's bounty. After observing and understanding it in private, he realized that his opportunity had come. The 8 major sects and the super sects had really provoked the extermination sovereign. After observing for a while, he could not help but come. Everyone would be punished by heaven and earth if they didn't look out for themselves. It could only be said that Di Tian was unlucky. Why did he have to get the battle fortress? In particular, a few days ago, he saw Di Tian appear on the divine altar. This made the extermination sovereign even more uncomfortable. Why could Di Tian enter and why couldn't he? It didn't mean that his potential was inferior to Di Tian's. It was precisely because of this thought that the extermination sovereign decided to take the bounty and enter the demon mystic sect without hesitation, even though this was a dangerous place. You said that the battle fortress is in Di Tian's hands? Do you have proof? One of the sovereigns asked sternly. Yes, I have proof. The extermination sovereign secretly rejoiced. He had recorded the situation in the sky. He believed that the sovereigns would definitely believe it after seeing it. He took out a jade slip and handed it over. The 5 sovereigns did not think much about the battle fortress. After seeing the jade slip, the 5 sovereigns' expressions suddenly changed. They were especially shocked by the scene inside. It was actually true. Di Tian really had a battle fortress. They recognized it clearly. It was a battle fortress. The 7 super overlords were not that strong. They were just sovereigns of the 9 stars. However, they had a battle fortress, which they could not do anything about. It was the top war weapon of the battle clan. If their sect had a battle fortress, coupled with their own strength, the other 7 major sects would have to bow their heads in front of their sect. That was strength. For the 5 of them, it would be a great contribution, and their status would be raised. Search. One of the sovereigns suddenly began to search the soul of the extermination sovereign. Soul searching was the most reliable method. The extermination sovereign naturally could not resist, so he could only let his soul be searched. That's right. Di Tian really has a battle fortress. He was right. No one can hide anything from me. It seems that we are in luck this time. The remaining elders of the demon mystic sect were very excited. They had actually encountered such a good thing. They did not expect the news to be true. After all, most of the news about the battle fortress in the territory was fake. They really did not expect to encounter a dead mouse. The news about the battle fortress was true. They couldn't help but sigh. Who would have thought that a battle fortress would be left in Sky City? It was something they couldn't even imagine. It was unbelievable. Where is Di Tian? Let's go capture him immediately. We can't let anyone beat us to it. Let's see if he has spread the news. The battle fortress will belong to the demon mystic sect no matter what. The sovereigns and elders were all excited. They were even more excited than when they broke through. That was a super war weapon. Even an ordinary war weapon would not be cheap. Elders, you can rest assured that this news hasn't spread yet. This person came from below and almost died in the jaws of the sky-burning beast. He's lucky to be able to survive until here. His companions seem to know who that person is, but they can't be sure. This might be bad news. As for that brat Dition, I'm afraid none of you have any idea where he is. Where is he? Is he dead? They were most worried that the other party was dead. If he died and the storage ring was picked up, it would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. He's not dead, but he entered the divine pedestal, which is not a small problem. You should have heard of this person, the black-robed guy who has been cultivating the slowest recently, but he can pass every time. It's actually him. Unbelievable. In the divine pedestal, this is a problem. They immediately remembered. In the divine pedestal, the closest ruler with very poor potential would leave the divine pedestal almost every time he cultivated for a limited time. He was the slowest one, and it was hard not to know. As soon as the sovereigns spoke, they immediately knew who this person was. It was the black-robed guy. The black-robed kid was Dition? This was too well hidden. He actually entered the divine pedestal under their noses. No wonder there was no trace of him. Although it was troublesome, the elders of the demon mystic sect had many ways. The battle fortress was such a treasure, it could not be lost no matter what. What about this sovereign of extermination? Just put a bounty on him. The importance of a battle fortress could not be compared to a mere bounty. The sovereign of extermination kept his head down. Even if his soul was searched, he did not dare to show anger on his face. Sovereign of extermination, this is your bounty. Our demon mystic sect will not be stingy with meritorious people like you. The previous sovereign smiled. They did not like or dislike the sovereign of extermination. After all, the purpose of their demon mystic sect was to compete in strength. Only by living and standing in a high position would one be powerful. They were used to this kind of backstabbing. If one's heart was not black, how could one achieve great things? The sovereign of extermination suddenly said, "Lord, I don't want a bounty. I only hope to become an official disciple of the demon mystic sect and contribute to the demon mystic sect. Please grant my wish." In the eyes of the sovereign of extermination, the bounty was good, but if it was spread out, it would definitely be a disaster. He believed that the day of his death was not far away. It would be different if he changed the way. As long as he became an official disciple of the demon mystic sect, it was equivalent to leaning on a mountain and hugging a thigh. As long as he went outside and raised his mouth, who would dare to go against him? As for the previous immortal court, the sovereign of extermination would not care. The few sovereigns were not surprised. This kind of thinking was normal no matter who it was. He did not want a generous bounty, and only wanted to join the demon mystic sect. The 5 sovereigns quickly made a decision. You are a good person. Take this to the sovereigns outside, and the free people will arrange for you. A token fell in front of the sovereign of extermination. On the front of the token was the word extermination, and on the back were the 3 words demon mystic sect. When the sovereign of extermination came, he inquired about it and became excited. He had taken the right step. Thank you, Lord. The sovereign of extermination was finally satisfied. Soon, there were only 5 sovereigns left in the Senfu. Chapter 1601. First level, second level, third level, 10th level, 20th level, 30th level, 80th level, 110th level, 190th level. 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, 3,000 years, 5,000 years. It took a full 5,000 years. Lin Fei walked all the way and finally reached the 300th level, the end of the first stage. Compared to the outside world, 5,000 years was not long at all. The cultivation technique, divine, refined 10th layer, had also been cultivated to the 10th level, and the divinity had also reached 400 levels. It could be said that on this divine altar, Lin Fei had created the slowest record. No one could compare to Lin Fei's slow speed. Every time he entered a level, Lin Fei would be slow, neither fast nor slow. No one thought that Lin Fei could rush to the 300th level. Perhaps he would be eliminated before he reached the 200th level. But no one expected that Lin Fei would really reach the 300th level and qualify to enter the second stage. At this time, the entrance to the divine altar was completely closed. The remaining people would not be able to enter the divine gate. Who knew how many people were dumbfounded? It's not easy. I've finally reached the 300th level, the divine, refined 10th layer, and the divinity has reached 700 levels. Lin Fei mocked himself. In his heart, Lin Fei was ecstatic. That feeling was far from what leveling up could compare to. In these 5,000 years, other than collecting divinity points, Lin Fei had opened chests and almost never stopped to rest. I wonder what the next stage will be. If it's an arena, that would be even better. Each and every one of them is a small boss. 301st level. Lin Fei entered the second stage. As soon as he entered the divine altar, the gray-robed spirit envoy from before appeared again. This time, Lin Fei faced it alone. Congratulations on entering the second stage. Lin Fei could not see what expression the other party had on his face. It should be said that his face was always expressionless, the same as the first time. I shouldn't have found anything. The system was also analyzing, and there were no emotional fluctuations. Lin Fei was also relieved. Furthermore, after passing through the 300th level, every time he struck the stone tablet, a thread would be left on his primordial spirit. He would only notice it at the moment he struck it, and then it would disappear as if it had never existed. From the 300th floor to the 600th floor is the second stage. The gray-robed spirit envoy said, the first level is to improve your physique and increase your defensive strength. Then, this level requires you to increase your combat strength. How do I increase my combat power? Lin Fei pretended to ask. Every time you pass a level, the divine multiplicity will be left on the stone tablet. I believe you must be very confused about what the divine multiplicity is for. Now, let me tell you, the divine multiplicity is to obtain the treasures here. The treasures here are different from the treasures outside. They were specially refined by supreme experts. For example, if a treasure requires 100 layers of divinity to be mastered, then you need to be at 100 layers of divinity. This divinity will disappear according to the corresponding item. You don't have to worry about not being able to obtain the divine multiplicity. In this level, there will be monsters placed. Killing them will give you the divine multiplicity. In this 600th floor, the divine multiplicity will be very important. Every divine multiplicity will be very important. If you want to enter the next level, you will need to challenge the guardian. Every challenge will require 100 divine multiplicity. Lin Fei was quietly anxious. Can I kill people in this level? This level does not prohibit killing. You can also obtain the divine multiplicity from others. If you are afraid of death, you can also use 500 divine multiplicity to leave the spiritual altar and return to the outside. Lucky Brat, I wish you good luck. I hope to see you again, next time. The gray-robed spirit envoy dispersed. Lin Fei also understood the reason for the second stage. In that case, this level requires a large amount of divine multiplicity to obtain some treasures. This is quite fun. After trying to sense it, Lin Fei found that this level could still absorb divine multiplicity. Compared to the previous 300th floor, there was danger from here. It was like there was no safe zone. The use of divine multiplicity also made Lin Fei feel a little surprised. If he did not have the strength, he might have suffered a great loss. Lin Fei still remembered that on the 300th floor, each of those past masters had more than 2,000 divine multiplicity. Compared to his 700 divine multiplicity, it was really a little lacking. Someone is coming towards me, so quickly, Lin Fei could feel that there were 3 figures in front of him coming towards him. They were very fast. In less than 5 breaths, a few streams of light came. Ha ha ha, I was wondering who it was. So it is this guy. I remember that he is called Lin Fei. Hee. It took him 5,000 years to reach the 300th floor. He is even more useless than us. The three of them were 3,000 feet away. When they saw that it was Lin Fei, the guy who cultivated the slowest, they could not help but laugh. At this time, above their heads, there was a display of divine multiplicity. One had 500 divine multiplicity. One had 620 divine multiplicity, and the other had 850 divine multiplicity. You want to rob me? The one who seemed to be the leader, who had a divinity multiplicity of 850, laughed complacently. You're wrong. A person like you isn't worth robbing. We're going to kill you. It just so happens that I've gotten a cold blade with a divinity multiplicity of 600. Let's see how powerful it is and divide up your divinity multiplicity. That person's hand shook, and a long silver blade appeared. The long blade released a cold light, and the surrounding space was frozen. The two people around him stood aside. Freeze him to death. Freeze him into a popsicle. The two people behind him started to jeer. Lin Fei, there's no need to struggle. This place is enveloped by a great power. You can't take out anything from the storage ring. You can only use treasures with multiple divinities, that person said proudly. Slash! Hua, that person slashed with the cold blade in his hand, and a white blade light swept out. Everywhere it passed, everything was sealed in white ice. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Lin Fei's body instantly emitted traces of cold light. An icy wind pierced through his bones, wanting to freeze his body. What a heavy chill. This cold saber is actually supported by the great Tao of ice. No wonder this guy is so confident in killing me. He tried to contact the storage ring, but it was indeed shrouded by a mysterious force. He couldn't open it at all. Lin Fei did not pay much attention to it. His good stuff was now in the system space. He tried to contact it and found that there were no problems, so he was completely relieved. As long as these things could be connected, there was nothing to be afraid of. You can't. Lin Fei shook his head. His body shook, shattering the cold light, and he disappeared under the blade light. That person's blade missed and hesitated for a moment. Lin Fei appeared from the side, and his fists bombarded him like cannonballs, sending him flying. How could Lin Fei miss such a good opportunity? He dodged again, and his fists exploded. Bang, bang, bang. Those two people could only watch helplessly. Ka. Chapter 1602. The 10th level of divine refinement really isn't easy to kill. Fortunately, I can use divinity to transform it into divine power and secretly break his body. Otherwise, it wouldn't be easy to kill him. The process seemed simple, but Lin Fei also realized the difficulty. If it were anyone else, it wouldn't be easy to kill the other party. On the contrary, it was very likely that they would be killed by the other party. Unfortunately, they encountered Lin Fei. With divine power, it was extremely easy to break the other party's body. The two of them were shocked. Their leader had died just like that. Run. The two turned into streams of light and fled, one on the left and one on the right. How could Lin Fei let them leave? He killed them at an extremely fast speed. This is the divinity multiplicity card. After returning, there were 2 black cards in Lin Fei's hand with a number recorded on them. They were the remaining divinity multiplicity cards of the 2 people, including the original card on the ground. Lin Fei suddenly had 3 cards in his hand, with a total of more than 2,000 divinity multiplicity cards. After refining a little, he immediately had more than 3,000 divinity multiplicity cards. Interesting, I like it. Lin Fei added these divinity multiplicity cards to the substitute. Not only did he obtain divinity multiplicity cards from them, but he also obtained nearly 4 million divinity points. Because they all had divinity in their bodies, they were equivalent to moving warehouses. After killing the other party, Lin Fei searched their bodies. The storage ring couldn't be opened. It was shrouded in power. Lin Fei wasn't in the mood to open it and put it away casually. These three guys are also poor. They were hoping to rob newcomers here. But unfortunately, they met me. Lin Fei held a cold saber in his hand, exuding wisps of cold air. This was the spoil of war that he obtained. What puzzled Lin Fei was that he couldn't see through the quality of this thing. You mean a ruler treasure? Although there was a ruler aura, Lin Fei still felt that something was wrong. From the 301 to the 600th level, the restriction on opening the storage ring and only using special treasures was strange, no matter how he looked at it. This cold blade only required a few hundred divinity levels, and its might was even stronger than ordinary ruler weapons. It was also blessed with additional attributes, making it extremely terrifying. You're pretty lucky, kid. The divine general stage was made for you. The little devil flew out with a smug smile on his face. Prepared for me? Could it be? Lin Fei stared at the cold blade in his hand, deep in thought. You're right. All of the treasures and weapons here have been blessed with divinity, making them superior to sovereign-level weapons. It can't be compared to your heavenly god-tier equipment. To the people here, it can better display its power, understand? Lin Fei came to a sudden realization. So that was the case. After trying it out, Lin Fei's eyes couldn't help but light up. This cold blade could really be exchanged for divinity points, even though it was only worth 100,000 divinity points. Its might was much more awesome than a ruler weapon. I suggest that you don't go up to exchange for the time being. Although you have all kinds of treasures, you've collected a lot of equipment over the past 5,000 years, and you've even formed a set. After all, this is the divine general stage. If I'm not wrong, the person who arranged this place is at least what you powerhouses call a god, and a very powerful one at that. Do you think a god would easily arrange such a place? Lin Fei was now rich. Although he had been spending it on experienced treasure chests, he still had a certain amount of wealth. The power of the divinity transformation divine power was also increasing. After all, there were restrictions at the beginning. Now that the restrictions were gradually lifted, the power was also increasing. I'm clear about this. I'd better collect the divinity points first. Lin Fei didn't care much about the divinity levels. He just needed to ensure that he passed. The space on this level was very large. Lin Fei circled around. There weren't many people on this level. Most of them had gone to the next level, and those who remained had average potential. The divinity levels on them were only in the hundreds, or a little over 1,000. When they saw Lin Fei, they recognized that he was the slowest to cultivate. After being surprised at first, they attacked without saying a word, wanting to snatch the divinity levels on Lin Fei. Lin Fei killed them with the cold saber in his hand. There were no restrictions on the spatial great Tao here. With a flash, Lin Fei sealed them in ice. He simply and thoroughly collected some equipment and divinity level cards. The divinity levels on him had also reached 6,000. After getting rid of them, Lin Fei chose a place and began to absorb the divinity points. Now that the absorption of divinity points had also increased to 200 million, compared to the 2 million divinity points needed to be opened once, he couldn't open it too many times. There was another guy with the slowest cultivation on the 301 level. In the beginning, those who came up wanted to rob him when they heard that there was such a person. These people didn't even need to go back. They were directly killed on the spot. They contributed divinity level cards, one by one. At first, there were people who were unconvinced and directly attacked. With a wave of his hand, Lin Fei threw a large pile of divinity-level treasures over and directly killed the other party. Everyone was dumbfounded when they saw this. How could this work? After a long time, no one rushed over to disturb Lin Fei. This area would also become quiet. While others were killing, Lin Fei didn't care much. Every once in a while, a group of ferocious beasts would be released. They were extremely powerful and carried divinity-level cards, as well as some equipment and treasures for people to fight for. Every time this happened, Lin Fei would take action. He would attack. The defense of the ferocious beasts was very strong, but they couldn't withstand a single blow from Lin Fei. With his absolute advantage in speed and strength, Lin Fei was the one who gained the most. Those who were watching were stunned and could only watch as Lin Fei left. During this period, there were people who tried to kill Lin Fei and seize all the treasures on him. Unfortunately, they didn't come back. After plundering, Lin Fei went back again, and it was quiet again. Everyone didn't understand what Lin Fei was doing. Lin Fei also went back and forth between the 2 points and 1 line. It's such a short time. I thought it would take 100 years. I didn't expect it to only be 20 years. On the 19th year, Lin Fei was about to head to the next level, which made him very unhappy. 20 years. Lin Fei's divinity level broke through to 300,000. This was when he didn't go out to kill and only killed those who came to die. As for the others, as long as they didn't disturb him, Lin Fei couldn't be bothered to care about them. It wasn't difficult to challenge the Guardian. In these 20 years, Lin Fei figured out the rules. During the time of hunting dire beasts, Lin Fei also obtained a good treasure. It was a square sky spear with 10,000 divinity level. In online games, it was the best equipment for newbies. Compared to those who had 2,000 or 3,000 divinity level treasures, Lin Fei's spear could shatter their bodies. The greater the difference between the divinity level treasures, the greater the power. Lin Fei could easily kill them without exposing his divine power. Killing and guarding. It didn't take Lin Fei too long. The humanoid monster that was guarding him wasn't weak. It wouldn't be difficult to defeat him as long as he had a powerful treasure with heavenly divinity. In less than the time it took for an incense stick to burn, Lin Fei came out. He left this level. He's finally gone. F*CK, who said that guy's potential was poor. Didn't you see that he was the most powerful? Let's go. We don't have to worry about not being able to grab dire beasts anymore. These people heaved a long sigh of relief. They were all suppressed by Lin Fei's tyrannical strength. None of them dared to act recklessly. Those who were almost 20 years old were the most miserable. They didn't have any treasures on hand and didn't have any hope of facing the Guardian. With Lin Fei's departure, they were finally free. The 302nd floor, the 303rd floor, the 350th floor, the 380th floor, the 410th floor, the 432nd floor, the 476th floor. It was the same as the previous floors. This was the second stage. Each floor lasted for 20 years. During this period, dire beasts would appear. Sometimes powerful divinity-level treasures would appear for people to fight for to increase their strength. Lin Fei was very indifferent. It was the same no matter which floor he went to. As long as no one provoked him, Lin Fei would not make a move. Lin Fei would kill those with a bad reputation. Divinity points were good stuff. Lin Fei's name began to spread. After all, some people went down in advance on each floor. It was inevitable that they would talk about it with their friends on the first floor. 1 spread to 10. 10 spread to 100. It was hard not to know. There were some people who were being chased by others and had nowhere else to go. For some unknown reason, they came to this forbidden region to seek shelter. Those people who were chasing after them did not know about this. The moment they opened their mouths, they began to threaten them. In the end, Lin Fei attacked in anger and killed all of them. This place became a safe place. Those who were being hunted or fighting for dire beasts would subconsciously come here. As long as they paid some divinity level, they would be safe. Lin Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Gradually, no matter where Lin Fei went, that area became a holy land. During this period, many potential rulers made a move and ended up dying in this area. They contributed a lot of divinity levels to Lin Fei, and his divinity level broke through 8. 1 million. This number wasn't high. It could only be said to be average, but it was still quite conspicuous, especially around the 400th floor. There weren't many experts on the 400th floor. Layer by layer, people were separated, and it wasn't easy to meet them. After Lin Fei set foot on the 500th floor, there were more experts here. Almost all of them had divinity levels in the tens of millions. As for Lin Fei's divinity level of more than 8 million, it was like going from a small rural town to a big city. There was nothing to compare. Chapter 1603. In the Senfu of the demon mystic sect on the God Mountain, the 5 elder sovereigns were paying close attention. That Di Tian is really slow. I wonder how he took such a long time in there. Did he find out something? The words of the elder sovereigns made them feel a little uneasy. Yes, it had been too long. Ever since the extermination sovereign found out about Di Tian's background, they had begun to arrange for people to pay attention to him. From the 1st level to the 300th level, it had taken a total of 5,000 years. It had also taken him about 10 years outside. This speed was simply not an ordinary kind of slow. They were well aware of the speed inside. It took 5,000 years to reach the 300th level, and it took another 4,000 years to reach the 500th level. They almost wondered if that fellow had died inside. Was it really that easy to stay on one level every 20 years? Fortunately, that fellow finally entered the 500th level and was not killed inside. This was considered good news, and it also made them feel a little relieved. After all, if that fellow was really killed, the demon mystic sect would definitely know whose hands the item would fall into. They could not possibly capture and interrogate them one by one. Even the 8 major sects would not be able to withstand everyone's anger. Moreover, many of the potential sovereigns came from powerful sections. If they really joined forces, it would be a headache for the demon mystic sect. It's good that he has reached the 500th level. Our people are already waiting for Di Tian on the 510th level. As soon as he appears, our people will take action. The 5 elder sovereigns also revealed smiles. Although those potential sovereigns were not very strong, they had collected a large number of divinity weight cards on that level. Hence, their strength had become tyrannical. They really did not believe that Di Tian had the strength to contend against them. Level 501, level 502. After Lin Fei entered the 500th level, he immediately felt that the people here were much more powerful. The gap between the 2 levels was very big. They were just slightly more powerful. Lin Fei really did not care much about the rest. Anyway, he would leave this level in 20 years. As the reputation of the previous levels had spread all the way to the lower levels, the moment Lin Fei arrived at the lower level, someone knew his name. It was difficult not to know such a person. The strangest thing was his cultivation speed. No matter who it was, who didn't want to be better as soon as possible. After all, as long as they were one step faster than them, they could accumulate more tyrannical strength. As time went on, they would be at an advantage. No matter what the next 2 stages were, they would become more confident. For rulers like Lin Fei, even if they could advance to the next level, as time passed, the gap between them would only grow larger and larger. When Lin Fei arrived at this floor, soon, someone would come to settle the score. Some of them were afraid of the other party's strength, and some were disciples of other sections. Even though they were separated by space, the transmission of information could still be done. If anything happened in the lower levels, they would be the first to know. With 8 million layers of divinity, he wouldn't have any powerful divinity treasures in his hands. They naturally wanted to kill Lin Fei to vent their anger. The idea was good, but when it came down to it, they suffered a lot. The other party knew a mysterious concealment formation and didn't fight them head-on. He just wandered around them, and the divinity treasures in his hands weren't very powerful. However, he relied on these divinity treasures to kill them. From start to finish, none of them could even touch the corner of his clothes. These people were undoubtedly going to deliver the treasures. These people had 2 or 3 million divinity treasures in their hands, and they were very powerful. Meeting someone like Lin Fei, they could only suffer. Lin Fei also changed his gun for a cannon. From the 500th level, he went all the way to the 510th level. The 510th level. This level was very quiet. In a certain region, 3 hegemons were seated together, expressionless, as if they were waiting for something. Di Tian still hasn't come up? How long are we going to wait? Those guys have already gone to the next level, and the gap between us and them is growing. A green-robed ruler cursed. It should be soon. As long as we kill that guy, we'll have made a great contribution, and the sex patriarch will personally meet us. Anyway, there are only the 3 of us on this level, and all the divinity cards and treasures are with us. We won't be too far behind them. The 3 of them spoke one after another. They were all from the demon mystic sect. Since a long time ago, they received news that they were to slow down and wait for a person to come up. As long as they killed that person and took back the treasures, it would be a great contribution. These words were personally given by the elder, and it made them extremely excited. This level lasted for thousands of years. When they had nothing to do, they would kill people and plunder treasures on this level. Now, the 3 of them had about 100 million layers of divinity on them, and they also had powerful divinity treasures on them, which were enough to sweep away any powerhouse that came up. They were very confident. There would no longer be powerhouses on the lower levels. The powerful people would go up, and perhaps they would all reach the 3rd level. They were waiting quietly now. He's coming. After waiting for a long time, one of the 3 demon mystic sect disciples opened his eyes, and a look of joy flashed in his eyes. He quickly took out a message talisman, and there were only 3 words on it. He's coming. He's coming. I can feel it. After we get rid of this guy, we can go down. Maybe those guys are waiting for us. Let's join forces. Let's see who's afraid of who. They could occupy this level, and it was hard to guarantee that there wouldn't be people occupying the entire level on the later levels. The 3 of them came together and turned into streams of light. It's so quiet on this level. Lin Fei appeared on the 510th level. There was no fluctuation. It was the same as the level above. It seems that it's a problem of strength that has pulled everyone apart. There are almost no people coming down from each level, or it's monopolized by others. Lin Fei was no stranger to this situation. Someone is coming towards me, and there are 3 of them. Soon, Lin Fei frowned slightly. Someone was coming towards him, and it was obvious that they were murderous. Di Tiandai. A roar came from afar. A jingguang slashed across the sky, and there was only one jingguang left between heaven and earth. An entire space was trembling nonstop. The jingguang's power was extremely powerful, and it locked on to Lin Fei. Good Lord, this is at least a divinity treasure with tens of millions of layers of divinity. Lin Fei escaped into the void and kept moving. The jingguang blasted over and over again. Chapter 1604. As the saber slashed down, the area around Lin Fei was covered in saber light. The void shattered and then returned to normal. Junior apprentice brother, the power of your saber isn't bad. Maybe that kid will be killed by your saber from a distance. You'll save us a lot of trouble. Complacent laughter came from afar as 3 figures approached. Ruler Luo Bing stood next to his 2 senior apprentice brothers with a smile on his face. Don't joke around, senior apprentice brothers. My baleful black saber only has 21 million layers of divinity. It can't compare to your divinity treasures. However, it won't be difficult to kill Di Tian. He'll be lucky to die to my saber. Although Ruler Luo Bing said this, he still had a complacent look on his face. After completing the task given to him by the elder, everyone's faces were radiant. Killing someone from a distance was such an exciting thing. As soon as someone appeared, they could kill someone from tens of millions of kilometers away. No one could stop them. Finishing him off with one saber strike is that kid's fortune. Come, let's go over and see if he's dead or not. The three of them had learned of Di Tian's strength from the elder, but they didn't care about that bit of strength at all. They could kill him easily with one move. Would there be a need for a second move? They came over full of confidence. They didn't see that person's corpse, nor did they see any traces of blood. Not dead. The three of them sensed for a moment and were somewhat surprised. It seemed as though what they had imagined hadn't happened. That person had gone somewhere. Ruler Luo Bing's expression was unsightly. His saber strike hadn't killed him. What kind of joke was this? He had clearly locked onto him. Who are you? How dare you kill me as soon as I appeared? In the distance, Lin Fei emerged from the void. That saber strike was very powerful. Lin Fei didn't use his physical body to block it. Instead, he used the void evasion technique to avoid the saber attack. They attacked as soon as they appeared. Lin Fei was furious. There was no one on this floor. Clearly, those people had been killed by these three, and they had stayed behind to deal with him. Most importantly, they had exposed his Taoist name. Not bad. To be able to dodge my saber strike. Ruler Luo Bing looked at the 10 million layers of divinity above Di Tian's head. I wonder how many times you can dodge. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Hegemin Luo Bing attacked once more, unleashing one streak of saber light after another with his bale black saber. Inescapable net. Rays of saber light intertwined. This was to seal off all the exits. Once you die, you'll know who we are. Aha! Hegemin Luo Bing didn't want to waste any more time. Hundreds of saber lights were blasted out. Lin Fei could feel the terror of these blade lights. If he used his body to block them, he would be instantly cut into countless pieces. Even if he activated the invincible defense, it would consume a large amount of invincible value. That guy's blade is pretty good. It's actually over 20 million layers of divinity. No wonder its attack is so terrifying. In the end, Lin Fei chose to dodge. Soon, Lin Fei's eyes lit up. Good fella, the three of them still have 100 million divinity layers. I really want to doze off, and someone will send me a pillow soon. Lin Fei flashed into the void. It's useless to enter the void. Hegemin Luo Bing laughed loudly as he chased through the void. That kid's mastery of the Tao of space isn't bad. He probably used that method to dodge that saber attack. Hegemin Cloudsong laughed, a look of disdain in his eyes. The Tao of space isn't that impressive. All of the hegemons out there have mastered a bit of the Tao of space, but that kid isn't that impressive. How could he possibly escape from our junior apprentice brother? Hegemin Cloudsong laughed as well. The two didn't follow him in. The void of the divinity dais wasn't that large. It was only roughly 100 million kilometers in size. To them, it would take them less than 2 breaths of time to go back and forth. Their junior apprentice brother, Hegemin Luo Bing, didn't just have a bale black saber, he was also wearing a first-tier divine armor. They weren't too sure of the exact level of the armor, but it was capable of blocking attacks from treasures with 10 to 20 million layers of divinity. Ordinary attacks wouldn't be able to break through its defense. No matter how powerful Di Tian was, he might not necessarily have a treasure with 20 million layers of divinity. Right now, all they had to do was wait for the good news. Boom! 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 The saber light was like a net, blasting forward. Lin Fei continued to blink through the void, but the danger behind him never ceased. After entering the 500th level, Lin Fei knew very well that the higher he went, the more powerful the divine treasures the potential hegemons would have in their possession. That fellow still dares to chase after me? I was just worrying about how I was going to get my weapon from him. Lin Fei's weapon was only at 3 million layers of divinity, and its power was far inferior to his opponent's. He didn't even think about taking it out. He just wanted to take it from his opponent. Di Tian, you won't be able to escape. This void is only so big. Today, you will definitely die. Hegemin Luo Bing continued to strike out with his saber. Layer after layer of the void was shattered. Anyone else would probably feel their scalp go numb at the sight of the countless saber lights. They wouldn't have any confidence in being able to survive in such a dangerous situation. Luo Bing began to laugh loudly. If this place was bigger, Hegemin Luo Bing probably wouldn't have been able to do anything. This fellow was so fast that even Luo Bing had to admit that he was inferior. Thankfully, he had a powerful weapon in his hands. A single saber strike was enough to make it difficult for his opponent to block. Lin Fei didn't say anything. He disappeared once more and reappeared behind Hegemin Luo Bing. With a wave of his hand, he slashed down with his saber. A protective barrier appeared around Hegemin Luo Bing's body. I was wondering why you only knew how to run. It turns out that you don't have a suitable weapon. I forgot to tell you that I'm wearing a first-class divinity battle suit. You want to kill me with that crappy weapon in your hands? Dream on. Hegemin Luo Bing was even more pleased with himself. He had thought that the person the sect had asked him to deal with would be very powerful, but now it seemed that he was only SOO. He didn't even care about that long saber of his. Swoosh! Another saber slashed toward Lin Fei's face. Killing you is as easy as pie. Lin Fei dodged the saber and appeared at Hegemin Luo Bing's side, chuckling as he slashed out with a saber. By the time Hegemin Luo Bing counterattacked, Lin Fei disappeared once more and attacked from the other side. Rumble! Rumble! Lin Fei didn't stop attacking. He surrounded Hegemin Luo Bing and didn't move beyond 300 meters. At first, Hegemin Luo Bing didn't care. He released his saber intent domain, wanting to force his opponent out so that he could kill him. As time went on, hundreds or even thousands of saber strikes later, the defense of the divine battle suit on his body began to weaken. This made Hegemin Luo Bing furious. Tian, if you have what it takes, then stop dodging. Boom! Hegemin Luo Bing raised his saber to block as he punched out with his other hand. His opponent disappeared and reappeared above his head. You can rely on a high-grade divine weapon. Why can't I dodge? I'm not that kind of idiot. Lin Fei laughed loudly as he disappeared. Lin Fei had plenty of ways to kill Hegemin Luo Bing. Lin Fei disdained to use those methods, so the only thing he could do was use the stupidest method possible. He would exhaust this guy to death. Just a little bit more, and his divine battle suit will be useless. That'll be my chance to kill him in one blow. Every single slash from Lin Fei seemed to possess ordinary might and seemed to be completely useless, as they were easily blocked by the divinity battle armor on Lin Fei's body. Haha, master, you're so evil. The little fiend's voice rang out in his mind. That guy thinks he's going to win for sure. He'll regret it in a bit. The little fiend knew this very well. Every single saber strike of Lin Fei's had been infused with a sliver of divine power. This divine power was so subtle that it was almost undetectable. The enraged Hegemin Luo Bing wouldn't bother to inspect it. Don't underestimate that sliver of divine power. It was incredibly useful. When strands of divine power were gathered together, they would become terrifying existences that could detonate the divine battle suit at a critical moment. Hegemin Luo Bing attacked randomly, a look of anger on his face. Bastard, just you wait. Saber light rumbled out. Hegemin Luo Bing thought to himself, damn, this guy has cultivated this kind of movement technique. Even my divine sense can't capture his specific location. Fortunately, I have the divine battle suit. Even if it's level 1, he can't break it. Since he likes to play so much, I'll play with him. When the power of the great path in his body is almost exhausted, let's see what he can do. Hegemin Luo Bing wasn't very good at the Tao of Space. It didn't mean that he couldn't deal with Tian. This was at most a small trick that wasn't very useful. I think we should each take a step back. You can't do anything to me anyway. Lin Fei said deliberately. Don't even think about it. I'll definitely kill you today. Don't expect anyone to save you. Apart from the three of us from the demon mystic sect, there's no one else here. You can give up completely. Lin Fei deliberately used words to provoke the other party. In the end, he heard this. You're from the demon mystic sect? One of the 8 major sections. How could Lin Fei not know? He felt a little uneasy. How did the 8 major sects know his Taoist name? Could it be that the matter of the battle fortress was leaked? Apart from this, Lin Fei couldn't find a second reason to say it for a while. Now you know fear. Ruler Luo Bing attacked faster. In front of our demon mystic sect, you're just an ant. You're just an ant. I can do whatever I want to you. I don't seem to have anything to do with your demon mystic sect. Why do you want to deal with me here? Then you can only say that you're unlucky. We've waited for you for many years. Today we can finally complete the task and go to the next level. Lin Fei seemed to understand. During this period, Lin Fei added hundreds of attacks on ruler Luo Bing. It seems that you only know this much. Lin Fei suddenly said. What did you say? Lin Fei laughed and slashed at his face. Explode! Boom! Boom! A terrifying aura came from ruler Luo Bing, and his expression became uneasy. What did you do to me? As soon as his voice fell, the divine battle armor on ruler Luo Bing's body exploded like a mirror, shattering into pieces. Die. Chapter 1605. I got it. As soon as Luo Bing's ruler exploded, Lin Fei quickly snatched the divinity weapon from the other party's hand. Of course, the most important thing was the divinity level. It just happened to be 100 million divinity levels, in addition to the harvest of tens of millions of divinity points. Divinity is really good stuff. It's so secretive. As soon as he got it, he immediately refined the divine treasure in his hand. A divine treasure with 20 million divinity levels. Good stuff, really good stuff. He tried it and it went smoothly. Lin Fei didn't care much about 20 million divinity levels. Anyway, the will came from the sheep's body. With this thing, they're going to be dumbfounded. Lin Fei disappeared on the spot. Junior brother Luo should be back soon. Of course. The 2 rulers laughed as they chatted. They didn't use their divine senses to check the situation in the void. There was no need to worry about dealing with a brat. When junior brother Luo returned, they could go to the next level. They were tired of staying on this level. Hua! A beam of light blasted one of the rulers, and his whole body was blasted away. Crack, 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 crack. The void behind the ruler that was blasted away kept shattering, and he crashed into the void. Senior brother. The other ruler's expression changed as he realized that something had happened. His face was filled with anger as he turned and rushed into the void. The chaotic void set off waves of tyrannical aura. As soon as this ruler entered, the waves of air hit him. The scene in front of him left him dumbfounded. His senior brother was currently in the middle of Di Tian's torrential attacks and was constantly being defeated. He could only passively defend, and the divinity battle armor on his body was constantly shining brightly. Isn't that junior brother's weapon? How did it fall into that guy's hands? Is junior brother dead? Even if this ruler didn't want to believe it, the facts in front of him told him that his junior brother had been killed. His weapon was in the hands of the other party, and his divinity levels had broken through 100 million. Junior brother Mo, come help me. At this time, the ruler, who was at a disadvantage, also found it hard to accept this news. From the moment he was blasted away, Di Tian appeared in front of him, and the torrential attacks came at him. He had no way to fight back and could only passively defend. The situation was getting worse and worse. Senior brother Fan, I'm coming. The hegemon Mo Shan angrily charged over. A spear appeared in his hand, transforming into a fire dragon that smashed towards Di Tian's back, freeing his senior apprentice brother. Di Tian, no matter what method you use to kill junior brother Luo, now that my junior brother is here, you're dead meat today. Hegemin Fan Yun blocked with all his might. He let out a sigh of relief, but what followed was boundless rage. Hee, you'd better take care of yourself first. Lin Fei slashed down again from behind, and a resplendent light burst forth. As Lin Fei dodged to the side, Hegemin Mo Shan's spear shot forward with a ferocious momentum. Kacha! The spear stabbed into Hegemin Fan Cloud. Puchi! Hegemin Fan Yin spat out a mouthful of blood and cursed. Junior apprentice brother, you'll only be satisfied if you kill me. Senior brother, I'm sorry. I couldn't stop myself. It's all that brat's fault. I'll try again. The Mo Mountain, Hegemin, laughed dryly. He lifted his spear and stabbed towards Di Tian again, hating Di Tian to death in his heart. If it wasn't for this fellow, would he have to stab his senior brother with his spear? So. Lin Fei continued to move. The range was very small. Junior brother, who are you trying to kill? I'm your senior brother. You idiot. In the void, Hegemin Fan Yun's face was ashen. In this short period of time, Hegemin Fan Yun had suffered no less than 10 attacks from his junior brother. He was almost angered to death. He could only blame Di Tian for being too crafty. Di Tian had been constantly moving around, and he had even purposely led his junior brother to attack. As the senior brother, Hegemin Fan Yun had suffered greatly, and the divine battle armor was also being continuously consumed. The Mo Mountain Hegemin didn't have it easy either. He had been scolded by his senior brother, and he was almost beaten to a pulp. Senior brother, I'll be careful. His gaze landed on Di Tian. It was all this fellow's fault. I want you to die a horrible death. The power of the spear in his hand suddenly changed, and he used a killing move. The sky was filled with afterimages of the spear. They were densely packed, and there were countless of them. Each spear seemed real. Lin Fei's saber landed on Hegemin Fan Yun's body, and the surging power collided with the spear afterimages. Di Tian, let's see how you block this move. Lin Fei suddenly turned his head and smiled. You won't be able to break through my defense with just this move of yours. He left Hegemin Mo Shan's back view. Boom, boom, boom. The sky full of attacks landed on Di Tian's back, drowning him in attacks. The Mo Mountain Hegemin suddenly felt uneasy. Previously, this fellow had been dodging everywhere. Why wasn't he dodging now? It was very suspicious. The Mo Mountain Hegemin was very confident in this move. Even if Di Tian managed to block it, he wouldn't have much combat strength left. He might even be heavily injured. Your attack is only SOSO. A terrifying aura came from the attack. It was as if a huge fireball had exploded in the air, and the sky full of attacks was directly blown away. A person charged out. A saber appeared on his left, and the back of the saber smashed into his face. The terrifying power smashed him out of the void and onto the divine platform. The Mo Mountain Hegemin smashed onto the divine platform. Before he could react, a person appeared in the void and stomped down. You're the only one left now. Let's see what you can do. This stomp landed on his face and blood splattered. You're lying. Senior brother has the divinity battle armor to protect him. Even if you have junior brother's weapon, you can forget about killing him. The Mo Mountain Hegemin's expression changed slightly. He could still sense the terrifying aura just now. It's not like the divinity battle armor is indestructible. You won't believe it anyway. However, I believe that you will soon believe it. Hua! The saber landed on the Mo Mountain Hegemin's body. Nonsense, you're lying. The Mo Mountain Hegemin tried to shake him off, but the other party was like a mountain. His power was like a rock sinking into the ocean, and a trace of shadow appeared. Boom, boom, boom. He stepped on a potential ruler and beat him up. That feeling was simply too amazing. Only the divinity battle armor on his body was slightly troublesome. It was like a tortoise shell, and it was very displeasing. 10 sabers, 100 sabers. The Emo Mountain Hegemon roared furiously at the start. He continuously activated his power, and he even wanted to exhaust Detion's power so that he could make a comeback. After 30 sabers, the Emo Mountain Hegemon's expression changed. The powerful divinity battle armor also started to lose its power. How can you be so powerful? What he received was Lin Fei's laughter. Don't kill me. I'm a disciple of the demon mystic sect. If you kill me, the sect elders won't let you off. I was wrong, I know I was wrong. Mr. Detion, please let me go. As long as you let me go, I don't want anything. Lin Fei laughed sinisterly. It's over. Chapter 1606. He wanted to get rid of these 3 people. From the very beginning, Lin Fei did not feel that this was a problem. It was just a matter of time. Since he was proficient in the Tao of Space, he could do whatever he wanted. Against Lin Fei, who was proficient in the Tao of Space, they had no chance of winning, even if they were wearing the divinity battle suit. Choosing a place, Lin Fei sat down cross-legged. Little devil, do you have a way to crack their storage rings? The demon mystic sect disciples blocked him on this floor, and Lin Fei suspected that it was related to the battle fortress. I have to prepare. Knowing that the demon mystic sect would be the enemy, Lin Fei had to be prepared. Cracking the opponent's storage ring was a very necessary thing. Lin Fei had every reason to believe that there would be good things in the storage ring, and it was very likely to be helpful to him. This is easy. They were all killed by you, and their divine senses no longer exist. Give me some time. Little Devil quickly accepted the task. In fact, it didn't take long, just a cup of tea time. The 3 storage rings were completely cracked. The symbol of the demon mystic sect? This might be useful, so I'll keep it first. Ruler battle suit? High grade? Ladies? Lin Fei thought to himself. Is this guy preparing to give it to someone else? Lin Fei didn't have much use for the lady ruler battle suit, but he could give it to the 7-colored ruler. There was nothing that interested Lin Fei in the first 2 rings, so Lin Fei could only focus on the last ring, hoping to gain something. As soon as the last ring was opened, the contents inside were poured into the system space. This is... Lin Fei's eyes lit up, and he quickly found something. A piece of jade slip. The jade slip wasn't very big, and when Lin Fei extended his divine sense into it, he couldn't help but smile. It really is a good thing. The jade slip actually recorded the list of demon mystic sect disciples who entered the spirit pedestal stage. Looking at the names above, he quickly found the names of the 3 people who attacked him. Counting carefully, Lin Fei found that the demon mystic sect had arranged a total of 53 disciples, which was considered a great deal. Especially the first one was the famous dark sacred ruler of the top 10 young masters. With these names, I can easily deal with them. Maybe these jade slips are used to contact each other. This is very likely. Lin Fei pondered. In next to no time, Lin Fei took out another jade talisman. Communication jade talisman? Lin Fei recognized it. It was a jade talisman of a higher grade. He retrieved it from the system space. Lin Fei was not surprised that a top-tier sect would have a way to communicate with them. Otherwise, how could they be considered a top-tier sect? This time, the demon mystic sect's behavior made Lin Fei very unhappy. Not long after the communication jade talisman was sent out, the jade talisman actually reacted. Someone had requested a link. Lin Fei secretly rejoiced that he had broken the storage ring first, and finally had a harvest. This should be a message from the demon mystic sect's elder. When he was outside the divine mountain, Lin Fei had observed the divine altar. Every time there was a movement in the divine altar, he could see the ruler enter the next level. He believed that it would not be difficult for those people to recognize him. Lin Fei had entered this level, and he believed that the demon mystic sect must have known. The purpose of asking so urgently was self-evident. It was for the result. Lin Fei smiled and opened the communication jade talisman. The jade talisman produced a sky screen, and a small sky screen appeared in front of Lin Fei. It could be considered a miniature sky screen. "Junior brother Fan, it's time to kill him." An obviously excited voice came from the other side. The sky curtains showed that they were in a Senfa hall. The 5 sovereign elders were sitting upright, exuding endless majesty. Obviously, the other party was also very anxious, and they started asking questions without any regard for the consequences. In fact, the 5 sovereign elders were very anxious. This matter was very important to them. These days, they were worried that the news would be leaked, and the extermination sovereign was temporarily placed under house arrest by them. Ever since Di Tian entered this level, they had been looking forward to the news. They were very clear about the situation on this level. It had long been cleaned up by the 3 junior brothers of the demon mystic sect. As long as Di Tian entered, everything would be under their control. They regarded the matter of the battle fortress as the most important thing. It was second only to the divine generals. "You seem to have made a mistake. I'm not your junior brother. Let me introduce myself. I'm Di Tian. I think you really want to see me," Lin Fei said indifferently. The 5 sovereign elders never thought that this would be the case. "You are Di Tian." The sovereign elder, who asked the question, first shot out a cold light. Lin Fei, who was far away, also felt the terror of this gaze, as expected of the sovereign elder of the demon mystic sect. His strength was indeed not weak, and he was able to lead the team here. A throne appeared behind Lin Fei, and he turned around and sat on it. "I am Di Tian, the person you have never forgotten. As for the junior brother you mentioned, I'm sorry to tell you that they failed, and naturally they were killed by me." The 5 sovereign elders quickly calmed down. They had underestimated this Di Tian. He had killed the disciples of the demon mystic sect and dared to confront them. Di Tian's behavior could be said to be a provocation. What a bold Di Tian! You still have the courage to say this in front of the elders of the demon mystic sect. Before the sovereign elder could finish speaking, Lin Fei interrupted him rudely. "I have always been bold. The people of your sect killed me, so why can't I kill them? I can only say that they are not as skilled as me." Sovereign Feng Su was the sovereign elder who had reprimanded Di Tian. He was choked by these words. They were all veteran sovereign elders. When they were famous in the territory, Di Tian was still unknown. They had always liked to suppress people based on their status. Today, they had been ignored by a junior. How could Elder Feng Su not be angry? He couldn't wait to enter the sky screen and kill his way to the spirit platform. "How dare you? I ask you, is the battle fortress in your hands?" One of the sovereign elders couldn't take it anymore. The void behind him was directly shaken, and he roared at Lin Fei in the sky screen. It seemed that this was the only way to vent his anger. Clatter! In this elder's opinion, Di Tian definitely wouldn't be able to react in time when he suddenly spoke. As long as there was a slight change in his expression, they would be able to see some clues and confirm whether the battle fortress was in Di Tian's hands. The sky screen disappeared into thin air. The other side crushed the communication jade talisman. "Damn kid!" The sovereign elder was furious. He dared to destroy the communication jade talisman. This action completely angered them. Immediately inform the disciples above to intercept Di Tian. "Kill him! We must kill him!" He reacted so quickly. It is very likely that the thing is in Di Tian's hands. Lin Fei indeed crushed the communication jade talisman. Putting on airs? Who's afraid of who? Lin Fei wasn't someone who could be threatened with just a few words. He simply crushed the communication jade talisman. It felt so good. If I don't care, I won't care. Lin Fei had nothing to be afraid of. I'm safe now. Lin Fei's thinking was very simple. Those demon mystic sect disciples below are probably waiting for me. I'll let you guys wait for a while first. Lin Fei threw the matter to the back of his mind and began to absorb the divinity points. This level soon welcomed some sovereigns. After seeing Lin Fei, they decisively chose to avoid Lin Fei, especially when the number of divinity points above his head was almost 400 million, which scared them quite a bit. This was definitely because he had killed several powerful sovereigns. With this number, those people didn't have the guts to do so. They could only stand aside obediently to avoid offending Lin Fei. It wasn't easy to come to this level. If they were eliminated or even lost their lives, the loss would be great. They also knew that Lin Fei's strength was unfathomable, but there was one good thing about him. As long as they didn't offend him, there was basically no danger. In order to be at ease, each of them still took out 5 million divinity points they had collected. Those people followed suit. Lin Fei didn't refuse anyone. Mosquito meat was also meat. Those people calmed down because of this. Elder, it's not good. One of our disciples on the 530th floor has fallen. 2 on the 570th floor have also fallen. 3 on the 591st floor have also fallen. After the demon mystic sect passed the news to the sect disciples, they waited in peace. They still believed that the sect disciples had the strength to deal with Diton. The only thing that made them unhappy was that Diton was still very slow. In their opinion, Diton did it on purpose to buy time. This move was really disgusting. The 5 sovereigns had never seen such a shameless guy. How could they know that Lin Fei stayed so long on each floor for divinity points? Time ticked by. The disciples of the demon mystic sect waited for Diton to appear. Immediately, a piece of bad news came back. The disciples of the demon mystic sect fell one after another. Every time they saw Diton's smiling face, it also meant that the disciples of the demon mystic sect died in his hands. One blow after another came. The demon mystic sect lost another 11 sovereigns in the hands of the other party. This caused the 5 sovereign elders to fly into a rage. How could there be such a person? However, they had no way to deal with Diton for the time being. That hateful guy, let him be proud for the time being. When we reach the 3rd stage, the disciples of the demon mystic sect will let him know what regret is. Elder Feng Su was already gritting his teeth. It took thousands of years. Lin Fei reached the 600th floor. In other words, he reached the 3rd stage. With the contribution of the 11 demon mystic sect disciples, Lin Fei gained a lot. The divinity level alone reached 2 billion, which was a good number. The divinity treasures obtained were also innumerable. For the time being, Lin Fei did not use them to exchange for divinity points. The higher he went, the more Lin Fei had to be careful, for fear of causing trouble. So many people. After entering the 600th floor, Lin Fei seemed to be in a layer of light, and he quickly descended into a senfu. Such senfu could be found everywhere on this floor. Most importantly, above the senfu, in the chaotic space, there were arenas lined up. Chapter 1607. Lin Fei seemed to understand what he had to experience on this floor. Battle. The 3rd stage was the battle. The battles on the huge arena did not stop, and one could still feel the terrifying aura from a distance away. Lin Fei was led into an empty senfu, and the gray-robed emissary appeared again. After the previous 2 encounters, Lin Fei had a habit of just listening quietly. Congratulations on entering the 3rd stage. This stage is an elimination round. The 1st and 2nd stages are for laying the foundation, and the truly exciting part is in the 3rd stage. As long as you can pass the 3rd stage, you can compete for the qualifications to become a divine general. This floor also has 300 floors. In other words, you have to accept 300 battles, and each contestant will be chosen randomly. It also pays attention to luck, and each battle will have 10 years to prepare. Lin Fei listened quietly. The arena was such a good place. Wasn't it prepared for him? Lin Fei almost laughed. Any potential dominator who entered the 600th floor had a large number of divinity points in their bodies, and killing them would bring many benefits and treasures. Under such circumstances, only Lin Fei dared to come up with such a crazy idea. I also have to remind you that in every senfu, there's a place that allows you to exchange for divinity treasures, and you can also exchange for treasures. You can exchange for treasures to increase your strength and prepare for battle. The gray-robed emissary disappeared again. Lin Fei also had a token in his hand, which was used to control the senfu, and only he was allowed to enter. Lin Fei liked this arrangement very much. After patrolling the senfu, Lin Fei came to a side hall in the senfu, pushed the door open, and entered. This was the place to exchange for divinity points. "Master, how may I be of service to you?" As soon as Lin Fei entered, a black-armored puppet greeted him. How extravagant! With a casual look, Lin Fei discovered that this was a Dominator puppet, and its combat strength was unknown, but its defense should be very strong. Even one senfu was a big deal. "Take me to exchange for divinity treasures." The side hall was not big. A sparrow may be small, but it has all the essentials. "Master, you can exchange for divinity treasures here." The black-armored puppet led Lin Fei to a stone door. Lin Fei saw the words on the stone door, "Exchange Room." The stone door creaked open, and Lin Fei walked in. Inside, there was another black-armored puppet sitting expressionlessly, and in front of him was a counter. Lin Fei asked a few simple questions and exited the exchange room. There were a few stone doors not far from the exchange room. They were places to purchase divinity battle suits, divinity weapons, and so on. "What's the use of that stone wall?" Lin Fei pointed to a huge stone wall not far away and asked. "Master, that's the battle canopy. As long as you pay a certain level of divinity, you'll be able to view every battle, including anyone. The fee is based on how high it is. Anyone can see it." "Yes." The black-armored puppet nodded and said, "Apart from being able to watch every battle, you can also see the latest changes in the rankings. This is free of charge." "Open it." The huge stone wall lit up, and a list of names appeared on it, from the top all the way down. The number 1 is still young Master Luo Xian, the head of the 10 princes, the peerless dominator of the Jingyi school. Lin Fei narrowed his eyes and looked at the name at the top. "That's fast. He's already at level 890, which means he'll enter the 4th stage in another 100 years. Ever since he entered the Sacred Mountain, Lin Fei had heard of the 10 princes. Among them, young Master Luo Xian was the strongest, and he had a powerful bloodline. In the last 10 positions, except for a few of them, the rest were replaced by unfamiliar names. The difference between them was not that big. Could this dragon origin dominator be from the Dragon Clan? And this Feng Jutian from the Phoenix Clan? Looking at the names, Lin Fei did not think that their origins were simple. Perhaps they were either from a powerful sect or a powerful clan. Sects were not a big deal, but the strength of a clan was something that no one dared to ignore. Their natural bloodline made them even more powerful. "Can you give me a copy of the information on the top 100? "Master, you only need to pay 1,000,000 divinity levels." Lin Fei received a copy of the information so that he could read it slowly. The gray-robed emissary told him that the first battle would begin in a year. Lin Fei now had a year to prepare. In the following days, Lin Fei studied the information in his hands. He would not have known if he had not read it, but the moment he did, he was shocked. This information covered all the peerless dominators of the Endless Territory in one fell swoop. The 8 top sects, the 7 hegemonic powers, and the powerful races were all included. There were some races that even the 8 sects and the 7 hegemonic powers did not dare to offend. That was because their bloodlines were pure and it was easier for them to produce top powerhouses. Lin Fei memorized these names one by one. Apart from that, there were also some with mysterious origins. There was almost no substantive information. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell that they were fake at a glance. They were just names in name. The members of the dragon race have such strong bodies, especially after wearing the divinity battle armor. Their defense reaches a terrifying level. They can actually kill an 8-star dominator with 3 punches. There's also this fellow with mysterious origins. He burned his opponent into nothingness with a single move, Fire Beacon Mountain. He's really terrifying. He should be infinitely close to the divine fire. This one is even sharper. He can actually freeze the divinity battle armor and freeze a dominator into an ice sculpture. Lin Fei also flipped through some of the battle records. These people's attacks were overbearing and did not give others a chance to react. Their strength was tyrannical and terrifying. Any one of them could kill a large group of 8-star dominators outside. It was unknown how many geniuses and powerhouses had gathered at this stage because of their strength. As the time drew closer, Lin Fei also started to prepare for himself. For example, some things that were necessary for the battle. Black-hearted, how black-hearted. Lin Fei took all the divinity treasures he collected back and exchanged them. When he came out, he was very unhappy. He turned around and entered a door. Lin Fei was here to buy the divinity battle armor. He had to put on a facade, after all. Didn't he see that the members of the dragon race were all wearing the divinity battle armor? It would be too conspicuous if he did not wear it. The defense of the divinity battle armor was quite good. Lin Fei had a deep understanding of it. There were divinity battle armors ranging from level 1 to level 10. There were also detailed divisions inside that targeted certain great Dao attacks. Lin Fei was dazzled. From the 600th to the 700th floor, he could only choose the divinity battle armor within level 3. Lin Fei chose a level 3 divinity battle armor with balanced defense. Chapter 1608. Third rank divine armor was fine. In terms of weapons, there weren't many requirements in the arenas. You could buy any divine weapon from 10 million layers to 100 million. 1 was fine too. 2 was fine too. As long as you had enough layers, you could even buy 10. When Lin Fei thought about it, it felt like he was bullying someone. However, after thinking about it, he immediately felt relieved. Everyone who entered the 3rd stage was a genius. Who wouldn't be able to afford a divine armor or a divine weapon? There was no need for him to worry about them. Lin Fei bought a Thundersplit saber. It had the element of the great Tao of Thunder, and its attack power was extremely dominating. It wasn't cheap either. 100 million layers of divinity. Lin Fei didn't hesitate to buy it. With the divine armor and weapon in hand, he was more or less prepared. Techniques? He didn't need to think about them for now. Techniques wouldn't appear in the Senfu. They would appear in the arenas for the 2 to train in. It was a competition of talent. Senior apprentice brother, that Di Tian, yes, Lin Fei, he's in this Senfu. Meanwhile, a few uninvited guests had arrived outside the Senfu. There were a total of 5 uninvited guests. Their faces were cold and sinister, and their gazes were fixed on the Senfu, as though they were trying to see through the Senfu. The people in the nearby Senfu were all secretly surprised. Who was living in this Senfu that had attracted a disciple of the demon profound sect? Everyone knew that they couldn't afford to offend them. This was the first time Hegemon Yiqing had heard of Lin Fei's name. The sect had repeatedly demanded that they kill Di Tian and take back their supreme treasure. They couldn't let anyone else beat them to it. Tell him to come out. Killing wasn't allowed on this floor. Hegemon Yiqing just wanted to make sure that it was that person. They couldn't afford to offend the unfathomably powerful, gray-robed emissary. If they really did attack, they would immediately be killed and die. Hegemon Yiqing had brought people here for a reason. Only when Di Tian came out would they be able to put on a show. Lin Fei, get the hell out here. Get out here. After killing our demon profound sex people, you still dare to come to this floor? The junior apprentice brothers that Hegemon Leaf had brought with him called out towards the gates of the Senfu, their voices echoing out like a great bell. The surrounding sovereigns were suddenly enlightened. Someone killed a disciple of the demon mystic sect. That person was really bold. More importantly, it seemed that someone found the evidence and personally came to the door. Everyone was unfamiliar with this fame. He didn't seem to know this name. I know this Lin Fei. I didn't expect him to come as well. This is unbelievable, a juggernaut exclaimed. Immediately, a good friend asked about Lin Fei's background. This person probably came from a small place. His talent isn't that good because when I entered he was already inside. His breakthroughs in each floor are very slow. From the first floor to here, I think it took him at least 100 million years. Yet he actually made it to this floor. These good friends were all shocked. What an exquisite person. With such a slow speed, he actually made it all the way here and even offended the demon Profound sect. That guy was also very powerful. These friends all had their own friends. They passed on the news, and in a short while, the news about Lin Fei had spread. The slowest cultivator, the ruler with the least potential, and all kinds of big hats fell on Lin Fei's head. There were also many people who came out of the Senfu to see his face. The longest person who could reach this floor was only a few thousand years, or even less than 5,000 years. Now, there was actually a guy who cultivated even slower, using more than 100 million years. This speed really made them feel incomparably conflicted. Do you think that guy will dare to come out? I bet that guy won't dare to come out. Look at who he's facing. That's a disciple of the demon Profound sect. The 3 words demon mystic sect is enough to scare the guy to the point of pissing his pants. The leader is still Hegemin Leaf Leaf. He can be considered to have more potential. He broke through to the 800th floor, and breaking through to the 900th floor won't be a problem. Everyone was discussing. In another Senfu, a beautiful fairy sitting cross-legged was also awakened by this voice and opened her beautiful and moving eyes. He actually came. The fairy stood up, disappeared from the Senfu, and appeared in the sky outside. Taoist Su Feng. Hegemin Su Feng also came out. Yeah, it's incredible. She seems to have gone over there. Isn't that the direction where the demon Profound sect is looking for that guy? Everyone was excited at first, but when they saw the fairy leave, they couldn't help but feel surprised. Since when did the fairy care about this kind of thing? They all chased after her. This fairy was none other than Venerable Su Feng, who was captured by Lin Fei that day. She could be considered as an old acquaintance of Lin Fei. You're finally here. I didn't look down on you. In yet another immortal abode, there was a low voice. A young man in brocade clothes stood up with the corners of his mouth raised, revealing an evil smile. It was young Master Fan that Lin Fei had been looking for. Today's young Master Fan's aura was even more terrifying than before. His left and right eyes were shining with a frightening light, making people not dare to look at him directly. Brahmin, is this the interesting person you were talking about? A delicate figure leaned on Brahmin's body. Fan smiled evilly and hugged the woman with one hand. Yeah, a guy with a lowly bloodline. I don't know what kind of dogshit luck he had. He actually kept breaking through and even entered the Divine Mountain and went to the Divine Altar. I thought such a lowly guy like him had already died in a corner of the space. I didn't expect him to have such luck. Fan, there are really not many people who can make you remember. Even the 10 great young masters, you don't care about them. But I'm interested in this Lin Fei. The woman smiled charmingly. You little slut, are you going to cause trouble again? Oh, I'm not as bad as you say. Look at what you're saying. The demon Profound sect disciples found a guy who had just come up. No matter who it was, they were interested to know. A short while later, there were quite a few people in the sky outside. When they weren't fighting, they all had time to rest, so they naturally had this bit of free time. A hint of joy flashed through Hegemin Yi Qing's eyes, but he quickly calmed down. This was the result he wanted. Hegemin Yi Qing wanted everyone to know that Lin Fei had offended the demon Profound sect. If he revealed a bit of information, he believed that those who were trying to curry favor with the sect would be eager to act and solve the problem for the sect. The Demon Profound sect wouldn't have to pay anything. When he thought of this, Hegemin Yi Qing couldn't help but want to laugh. He was just too smart. Crack, 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 the immortal gate opened with a whoosh. A smile appeared on Hegemin Yi Qing's face. You people of the Demon Profound sect are so annoying. I just killed a few of your disciples. As soon as the immortal gate opened, everyone heard this sentence, causing them to be stunned. Damn, it's just a few disciples. How could he say something like this? The lives of the Demon Profound sect's disciples were precious. If one of them died, the entire sect might have to be buried with him. This was the difference. This person was quite arrogant. Even those who didn't see could tell that there was something wrong with it. He was arrogantly criticizing the Demon Profound sect. It didn't matter what the occasion was. It was rare, truly rare. A black shadow appeared at the door. Many gazes shot towards it, as though trying to see through it. No powerful bloodline. No wonder he was so slow. What a lowly bloodline. He was even able to cultivate to the 8-star ruler level. Unbelievable. These people's gazes were like torches. After looking for a bit, they saw through some clues and revealed disdainful looks. A lowly bloodline wasn't worthy of entering this level. Hegemin Yi Qing's smile froze. He thought to himself, what an arrogant fellow. The more arrogant you are, the closer you are to death. Lin Fei, you finally dared to come out. I thought that after killing our disciples and stealing our sex treasures, you wouldn't dare to come out. I thought you were going to be a coward for the rest of your life. Hegemin Yi Qing roared angrily. Hand over our junior brother's treasures. The treasures of our Demon Profound sect shouldn't be in your hands. As long as you hand over the treasures, we can leave your corpse intact on the arena. Hand over the treasures and prepare to die. This is the only way out for you. The disciples of the Demon Profound sect next to him had already informed him. They threatened Lin Fei one after another. The surrounding people revealed an understanding expression again. No wonder the disciples of the Demon Profound sect came in person. Not only did this guy kill people, but he also stole the treasures of the Demon Profound sect. No top sect was willing to let their things be leaked to the outside world. For example, cultivation techniques and the like. In their opinion, the Demon Profound sect must have come for cultivation techniques. Didn't this poor guy know that this was something he absolutely couldn't do? No sect would allow their cultivation techniques to fall into the hands of others, let alone a top sect. Lin Fei knew that the people of the Demon Profound sect would come to find him. The only thing he didn't expect was that they would use a borrowed knife to kill him. Even if the Demon Profound sect didn't ask them to kill him, Lin Fei believed that those people already had the idea. Kill him and hand over the treasures in order to get a favor from the Demon Profound sect. He believed that no one would refuse this kind of thing. Even if there was no favor, it was also a good thing to do the Demon Profound sect a favor. Lin Fei knew very well that they didn't want to expose the battle fortress and attract more people to spy on it. For the time being, Lin Fei didn't want to expose it. I don't care what you say, but your Demon Profound sect doesn't have the ability to make me, Lin Fei, die obediently. Do you really think I'm a 3-year-old child? Maybe I'll be the one to kill you. Lin Fei smiled and said, let me give you a word of advice. Don't think that you're something just because of some words. In fact, you're nothing. Wow. There was an uproar at the scene. Crazy. Really crazy. This was to include them as well. Hegemin Yi Qing smiled. This Lin Fei was simply courting death. Chapter 1609. None of the people present had ever seen such an arrogant fellow. The mystic demon sect could disregard him, but none of them could. The seniors of their sects wouldn't allow them to do such a thing. His words, however, caused everyone present to feel very uncomfortable. They didn't dare to do anything in front of the mystic demon sect because they were one of the 8 great sections. They wouldn't dare to do anything even if they were 100 times more courageous. However, they wouldn't be afraid of someone with a lowly bloodline. All of the potential hegemons present were extremely famous in the Endless Territories, and they all had powerful bloodlines that allowed them to look down on everyone else. Even the hegemons present weren't willing to submit to each other. They would only be satisfied after fighting in the arena. This kid is definitely brainless. He actually said something like this and offended everyone. I don't even need to say anything. Those people will be more than happy to kill Lin Fei. Hegemon Yi Qing laughed in his heart. The more Lin Fei acted like this, the more comfortable he felt. As far as he was concerned, Lin Fei was just a brute. How could anyone speak like this? The spectators grew restless. Some were unhappy. What a lucky bastard. Just because of what you said, I've decided that I'll personally crush every bone in your body in the arena. The cracking sounds will be absolutely wonderful. In the sky, a tall, burly man with a bare upper body stared down at Lin Fei like a hungry wolf. It's him, the Blood Butcher. Supposedly, he has the bloodline of the Infernal Realm and is extremely bloodthirsty. In addition, his favorite thing to do is to crush the bones of people while they're still alive. Lin Fei is going to be out of luck. Someone immediately recognized who this person was. Hegemon Yi Qing glanced at the Blood Butcher, who was extremely excited. At least his efforts hadn't been in vain. Lin Fei, I'm going to kill you, you little ant. A lowly bloodline like yours isn't qualified to come to the God Deus realm. The Infernal Realm is the best place for you. Kakik. As soon as one person stepped forward, others immediately agreed, secretly regretting that they hadn't been the first to express their sincerity. It just so happened that the Blood Butcher had the upper hand. Within a short period of time, almost everyone present had issued threats. This was especially true for those who had reached the 600th level. They would have a high chance of encountering Lin Fei. When that time came, would they still have a chance? Lin Fei immediately became the common enemy of these sovereigns. Hegemon Yi Qing was quite satisfied. If these potential hegemons could threaten Lin Fei, Hegemon Yi Qing was certain that Lin Fei would be terrified and terrified. Every single one of the hegemons present was a genius hegemon who had mastered bloodline techniques that increased their power. They weren't as simple as the ordinary 8-star hegemons that the outside world had seen. Lin Fei stood at the door without any expression on his face. In the eyes of the crowd, it was clear that Lin Fei was frightened by them and didn't know what to do. Anyone would be terrified. Hegemon Yi Qing began to laugh as he sent a message through divine sense. Lin Fei, we know exactly what you are capable of, including what we want to know. We already know that you rose to prominence very quickly in your world, but your power means nothing to me. Do you see that? With just a few words from our mystic demon sect, you have become their enemy. This is because they all want to curry favor with our mystic demon sect. Lin Fei replied, your mystic demon sect really is very powerful. Hegemon Yi Qing said smugly, the 8 great sects live up to their reputation. You should know what sort of fate awaits you if you fight against our mystic demon sect. None of them will be easy for you to deal with. Even if you win against 1 or 2 of them, you won't necessarily be able to win forever. Sooner or later, you'll be defeated. Thus, I'll give you 10 days to think it over. If you voluntarily hand over what you want, perhaps I'll report it to my superiors and allow you to join the mystic demon sect as a formal disciple. That way, you won't have to worry about retribution or death for the rest of your life. In fact, if you want to become a world controller in your own world, you'll be able to do so with a single word. You make it sound very nice. I almost want to agree to your conditions. Lin Fei said calmly, however, you shouldn't have used the people I care about to threaten me. Now I can give you a clear answer. Whether or not the item is in my hands, your mystic demon sect definitely has nothing to do with it. I believe that after your mystic demon sect leaves, many people will be interested in it. Don't you think so? For example, your sworn enemy, the mystic sacred sect. How dare you? Hegemin Yi Qing couldn't help but roar. Lin Fei said coldly, I'll say it again. Your mystic demon sect's top-tier cultivation technique isn't anything good. If you threaten me again, I don't mind making it public. I believe many people will be interested in it. Boom! The immortal gate closed once more. The corners of Hegemin Yi Qing's eyes twitched as he stared at the Senfa gate. This bastard is still threatening me. At this moment, Hegemin Yi Qing discovered that the expressions of some of the spectators had changed. It was clear that they had changed upon hearing about the top-tier cultivation technique. These people were all from first-rate sects or large clans. Hegemin Yi Qing's original plan was to use threats to intimidate Lin Fei, then rope him in. The chances of success were quite high. This way, he would be able to obtain the item effortlessly without anyone noticing. By the time those people realized what was going on, the mystic demon sect's overall power would have increased by a large margin. In the end, however, Hegemin Yi Qing underestimated Lin Fei. He wasn't afraid of threats at all. Instead, with a few simple words, he managed to convince the surrounding hegemons. Hegemin Yi Qing was completely convinced that some of them would be tempted. This wasn't the most terrifying part. What Hegemin Yi Qing worried about the most was that if Lin Fei really did have the item in his hands and was forced to hand it over to another sect, the mystic demon sect would become a laughingstock. This was trouble. If it weren't for the fact that this was a divine mountain, Hegemin Yi Qing would have immediately led his people in to kill their way in. Leave some people here to keep an eye on this place. The rest of you, follow me back. Hegemin Yi Qing was quite annoyed. The mystic demon sect really thinks they're so awesome. The gate of Senfu closed, and the corners of Lin Fei's mouth curled up into a smile. Then his expression darkened. This matter is quite strange. Someone who was able to recognize me so quickly must be someone familiar with me. And someone familiar with me must be someone who appeared with me in Sky City last time. Then, someone must have joined the mystic demon sect. As for those people, Lin Fei had a guess, but he wasn't sure. Fortunately, when he left, Lin Fei was prepared. If the people of the mystic demon sect dared to look down on him, they would definitely regret it. People of the mystic demon sect, if you keep causing trouble for me, I will make you regret it. Lin Fei's face was gloomy, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. At this moment, Lin Fei was angry. Chapter 1610. Hegemin Yi Qing left angrily. Everyone knew that Lin Fei, who had appeared out of nowhere, wouldn't have a good time in the future. The mystic demon sect would view him as a thorn in their side. Perhaps in the first battle, he would be killed by the enemy, or perhaps in the second battle. The result was set in stone. It wouldn't change. Most people were guessing at what top-tier technique Lin Fei had stolen from the mystic demon sect. For Hegemin Yi Qing to personally come ask for it, was that too much of a ruckus? A top-tier technique of the mystic demon sect? At least it was better to say it out loud. No one could be sure that their guesses were correct. After discussing this matter for a while, they all left. Lin Fei is still as hot-tempered as ever. He didn't even give Hegemin Yi Qing any face. Hegemin Su Feng continued to observe the situation below. After everyone left, Hegemin Su Feng let out a soft sigh. She didn't dare to underestimate the power of the mystic demon sect. She just didn't know what to say about Lin Fei, but after thinking about it, she immediately understood. If it wasn't for his temper, she wouldn't have been captured and imprisoned by Lin Fei last time. When she thought of this, Hegemin Su Feng couldn't help but blush. Fairy Su Feng, long time no see. So you're interested in Lin Fei as well? Young Lord Fan stealthily appeared with a group of people, his tone extremely flirtatious. So it's young Master Fan. Since when did you like to sneak around? Are you a dog now? Hegemin Su Feng's face turned frosty. Young Lord Fan didn't get angry. You're still as cold as ever. Don't you know how to say something nice? Why should I say anything nice? Just because of our past relationship? Hegemin Su Feng said, that's all in the past. If you want to do anything to me now, you'll have to be strong enough to do so. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind cutting that thing off. I trust that you'll become very famous. After saying this, Hegemin Su Feng drifted away. Bitch! Young Lord Fan watched her leave, then said viciously, I'll let you be cocky for a bit longer. Once I obtain the legacy and awaken my bloodline, I'll show you what I've got. Hegemin Yi Qing had personally led a group of people to force a hegemin into action because he wanted the mystic demon sect's top-tier technique. The news spread quickly. Everyone had no choice but to know. This involved a top sect, like the demon mystic sect. Furthermore, at some unknown point in time, a rumor began to spread. Regardless of who killed Lin Fei, as long as they handed over their storage rings, they would be able to obtain all sorts of benefits. Anyone with a discerning eye knew that this was spread by the demon mystic sect. Only the demon mystic sect had the ability to do so, but they wouldn't admit it. The bounty offered was extremely shocking. It could be said that they had become rich overnight, especially those in the 600th to 700th floor. Everyone was eager to make a move. The arena battles on this floor were all random. You say the strong are bullying the weak? In reality, there was no difference. Everyone's realm was almost the same, and it was only the divinity treasures in their hands that differed. No matter who it was, they still had the ability to fight. Everyone was looking forward to this day. In the following year, Lin Fei stayed in Senfu and did not go out. On the other hand, it wasn't very quiet outside. From time to time, people would appear. As for the people from the 8 great sects and first-rate sects, they didn't appear. Some of them even came to ask about the situation. This situation was within Lin Fei's expectations. The people from the 8 great sects and the 7 great overlords weren't people who would do whatever they wanted. They wouldn't easily send people over. They wouldn't offend the demon mystic sect for such a small matter. Of course, Lin Fei also noticed that there were people around staring at Senfu. Among these people, Lin Fei believed that there would be people from the 8 great sections. They were very interested in the top cultivation technique of the demon mystic sect, so they would definitely monitor it. If they didn't arrange for people to monitor him, Lin Fei would suspect that the 8 great sects didn't deserve their reputation. Lin Fei believed that the people from the demon mystic sect would definitely be very uneasy. In the blink of an eye, a year passed. In this year, some people rushed to the next floor, and some people were eliminated and lost their lives. Now, many people were concerned about that Lin Fei, who had a lowly bloodline, would encounter that potential ruler and whether he would be defeated in one move. Hua! On this day, a bright divine light landed on one of the Senfu. It's here. Finally, it's Lin Fei's turn. They had been looking forward to this day for a long time, and they also wanted to know who the lucky guy was. This was no less than a big pie falling from the sky. The divine light moved again. Many people raised their heads and looked at the divine light. Come here. It's best if it's my turn. I can't miss such a good opportunity. If I kill that Lin Fei, I'll be rich. The divine light finally landed on a Senfu. Ha ha ha, I'm so lucky, Lin Fei, just wait to die. In that Senfu, there was a sudden burst of laughter. A figure soared into the sky and appeared above the Senfu, bathed in the divine light. Damn, it's that guy. Remember to call him Barbarian Ruler. He seems to be from a barbarian territory. It is said that he inherited the bloodline of the barbarian king, and his close combat strength is very terrifying. Damn, he got lucky. Someone immediately exclaimed. The barbarian ruler in the divine light, as his name suggested, looked very barbaric and fierce. He was only wrapped in a leather armor and exuded a faint divinity. The barbarian ruler was extremely excited. This great luck made the barbarian ruler think that he had made a mistake. He was only on the 610th floor now, and he never thought that his luck would be so good. The barbarian ruler knew that Lin Fei was a guy who had cultivated for more than 100 million years. He could smash the other party's body with his thick fist, so he didn't take it seriously at all. In the third stage of the 600th floor, who didn't take hundreds to 1,000 years to enter, the longer the time, the less potential one had. A guy with a lowly bloodline who took more than 100 million years to enter could be said to have the worst potential. When the barbarian ruler first found out about such a guy, he thought that it was a joke. He even secretly wondered if the disciples of the demon mystic sect had fallen into that guy's trap. In any case, such a good opportunity fell on him. Under the envy of everyone, the barbarian ruler landed on the arena, and with a slight movement, there was a cracking sound coming from his body. His eyes were fixed on the other party's divine light. He, a guy with a lowly bloodline. You deserve to meet me, the barbarian ruler. Another divine light also landed on the arena. As long as the divine light dissipated, it was equivalent to the beginning of the battle. Only when the other party died could the winner be determined. Otherwise, he could only stay in the arena and not be sent back to Senfu. Lin Fei could see that the barbarian ruler's body was very strong. It should be an additional effect of the bloodline. Lin Fei didn't say anything to the barbarian ruler, as it really didn't mean much to him. I knew you were afraid. You don't know what's good for you. Of all people to offend, you had to offend the demon mystic sect. I still have to thank you for bringing me such great benefits. The people outside are envious of you. Later, I will definitely let you die happily. I guarantee that there will be no pain. I will directly blow up your head. Although it is a little bloody, I like this kind of blood, and I, the barbarian race, love blood. We like to blow up the head of any enemy, just like a watermelon exploding. That feeling is really great. I'm looking forward to the sound of your head exploding. The divine light gradually dissipated. The color of the divine light outside became more and more colorful. I'm coming. The moment the divine light dissipated, the barbarian ruler's aura soared into the sky as if to shake the sky. As he took a step forward, the entire arena began to shake as if the entire world was shaking. This is the barbarian ruler's heaven and earth tremor. It is the barbarian race's best move. Anyone will lose control in front of this move. Just this move alone was enough to make people clap their hands. The barbarian ruler used heaven and earth tremor, and then a huge phantom appeared. It was a giant that was millions of feet tall, and its wild aura swept over like a storm. Barbaric's sacred hand. The huge giant's palm slapped down from the sky. When this combination attack came down, the barbarian ruler already revealed a smile. No ordinary enemy would be able to withstand this combination of attacks. No matter who it was, let alone the guy in front of him, this heaven and earth tremor would probably send the other party to some unknown place. The barbarian ruler trembled. Lin Fei instantly felt the entire space and time turn upside down, and then he shook violently. He clearly saw that the barbarian ruler was not far away, but he couldn't find any traces of it. The palm fell from the sky, and space kept collapsing, unable to withstand the power of this palm. In the face of such an attack, a faint smile still hung on Lin Fei's face. The barbarian ruler used this in the wrong place. Whoosh! Lin Fei disappeared under the huge palm, jumping out of the barbarian ruler's attack range. The lightning split saber also landed in his hand, and with surging lightning arcs, the saber struck the barbarian ruler's body. Boom! The barbarian ruler was directly sent flying. The great Tao of thunder exploded on the barbarian ruler's body, and the beast-skin divine battle armor also erupted with a bright light. You can't kill me. Our barbarian race is the strongest. The barbarian ruler stood up and grinned, not understanding that the other party could actually break his heaven and earth tremor. He patted the divine battle armor on his body. I forgot to tell you, our barbarians have the strongest physical defense. It seems that you used this move to kill the people of the demon mystic sect. Hee, I won't be fooled again. Lin Fei raised a middle finger. If you're done talking, you can die now. Lin Fei snapped his fingers and spat out a word softly. Explode! Boom! A huge mushroom rose. The entire arena was shaking. Chapter 16:11. Silence. The Senfu buildings outside fell silent. Their gazes fell on the arena. The black-robed guy was incomparably shocked. He's dead. How is this possible? The barbarian ruler has the bloodline of the barbarian king. He's innately tyrannical and destructive, and he's wearing a third-rank divine armor. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? That guy can actually win. These people all cried out as if they had been provoked by something. Although the barbarian ruler wasn't a very powerful ruler, he was still famous. From the very beginning of the battle, he had blown up his opponent's head, causing blood to splatter everywhere. Everyone remembered this guy, but now he was killed so easily. This was something they couldn't believe. What shocked them the most was that they couldn't see how the barbarian ruler had died. That was what scared them the most. In their imagination, it wouldn't be easy for Lin Fei to defeat the barbarian ruler. Instead, he would be suppressed by the barbarian ruler without being able to fight back. This was unbelievable. Could it be a top-tier technique of the demon mystic sect? That should be it. The problem should be with that saber strike. These people immediately began to study it. Some people even chose the battle scene to observe. No matter what, they had to understand it. Such an opponent with an unknown secret would make them unable to sleep or eat in peace. The barbarian ruler is such a piece of trash. Within a Senfu building, Hegemin Yi Qing swept the things in front of him to the ground in dissatisfaction. The result wasn't what he wanted to see. The barbarian ruler had been killed by him. Strange, something is strange. Hegemin Yi Qing was angry, but he could see that the saber strike was extraordinary. Under normal circumstances, Lin Fei wouldn't be able to kill the barbarian ruler. This kind of attack was terrifying. It was an attack from the inside out. Hegemin Yi Qing continued to observe the battle scene, but he still couldn't see what was so special about this saber strike. It was a very ordinary attack. Anyone would understand why this was the result. Damn, I actually couldn't see it. Hegemin Yi Qing frowned. I don't believe that I couldn't see it. This feels great. Back in his Senfu, Lin Fei obtained everything the barbarian ruler had, including the storage ring. Just the number of divinity levels was enough to make Lin Fei feel good for a while. This guy actually had 1 billion divinity levels, not including the divinity battle armor and divinity weapons that he had exchanged. Master, you're too evil. You purposely used the most ordinary attack. I believe that those people are constantly flipping through your live battles so that they can counter your attack. The little devil flew out proudly. Lin Fei laughed. I want them to feel fear in their hearts. It won't be that easy to kill me. Speaking of which, the level 3 battle suit of divinity isn't something to be trifled with. If I were to fight them head-on, it would take longer. It's better to use this method. Master, you're so sinister. Lin Fei said faintly. There's nothing sinister about it. I'm not that easy to bully. Whoever dares to do so will have to pay the price. Lin Fei had purposely chosen this method of attack. It was actually divine power that had killed the barbarian ruler. The power of that saber had invaded the barbarian ruler's fleshly body. Thus, there was the scene of an explosion. What he wanted was this kind of deterrence. Lin Fei's first battle had already attracted some people's attention. They couldn't wait to figure out the profoundness of that saber. It would be best if they could think of a way to counter it. The defense was already very impressive. Being attacked from the inside out, anyone would have to think about whether they could resist this move. Unfortunately, no matter how they checked, they couldn't figure out the profoundness of this move. They only knew that this saber was very terrifying. The barbarian ruler was killed in one saber. The people from the first-rate sects were also concerned. Could this be a top-notch saber technique that was not passed down by the demon mystic sect? If that was the case, it was already so terrifying when executed by a guy with a lowly bloodline. If it was executed by one of the 10 young masters, wouldn't it be even more terrifying? Every time they thought of this, they couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. This Lin Fei was really not simple. Some sects began to look for him in private. Lin Fei refused to meet any of them. He was really not interested. To him, opening the chest was what he was most interested in. One of the 10 young masters, young Master Dark Sage, has made his move. That young master of the demon mystic sect. I wonder who's so unlucky to actually encounter young Master Dark Sage. The divine light descended, bringing with it an uproar of voices. Lin Fei also went to watch the battle, which was a rare occurrence. The 10 young masters were the most famous on the Divine Mountain. It was impossible not to pay attention to them. Young Master Dark Sage was ranked second, always behind young Master Luo Xian. This kind of strength made people apprehensive. Young Master Dark Sage wore a black robe just like Lin Fei, and his body exuded a cold and desolate aura. His opponent was a guy who had entered level 823. He was also very powerful. He was wearing a level 10 divinity battle suit and had a terrifying divinity weapon in his hand. Young Master Dark Sage, I didn't expect to fight you. You only have one chance. Young Master Dark Sage stood with his hands clasped behind his back, incomparably arrogant. These words immediately provoked his opponent. I know you're very arrogant. Being one of the 10 young masters doesn't mean I recognize your strength. I'll use my strength to tell you that I'm also a potential ruler, and a bloodline ruler at that. The hegemon roared. Bloodline devour. That person turned into a sea of blood, rolling up and down. Rumbling sounds could be heard. I'll use my bloodline power to deal with you. Let's see what you can do. After devouring your bloodline, I might be able to break through to the 9 stars ruler realm. Ha ha ha. On the huge arena, a sea of blood towered into the sky as a bloody maw bit down on young Master Dark Sage. Crack, crack, crack. The bloody maw bit down on young Master Dark Sage, but its powerful attack was ineffective. So this is the devouring bloodline? I don't think it's anything much. Young Master Dark Sage shook his head in disdain. I'll let you see what a true bloodline is. Bang! Young Master Dark Sage turned into a black sea of blood. His bloody maw was even more terrifying, swallowing his opponent in a single gulp. Victory and defeat had been decided. Young Master Dark Sage floated away. The 10 young masters are truly powerful. Lin Fei could see how powerful young Master Dark Sage was. In a clash of 2 great bloodlines, young Master Dark Sage had been defeated so quickly. His bloodline was also not ordinary. Master, that fellow's bloodline should be very powerful. It has the aura of a god. In other words, he should be someone with a god bloodline. The little devil flew out, and his god bloodline should be able to imitate ordinary bloodlines. Goodfellow was actually a god bloodline. Lin Fei had heard of this before. Among the god bloodlines, the simplest was the heavenly god bloodline. Chapter 1612. After a year, Lin Fei didn't just see young Master Dark Saint attack. The other 10 young masters all attacked. All of them were very strong. Although they were peak 8-star rulers, they had accumulated a lot of power. Once the spiritual pedestal stage was over, they would be able to quickly break through and become a 9-star dominator once they reached the outside world. Once they became a 9-star dominator, they would be extremely powerful, far from what ordinary 9-star dominators could compare to. It wasn't just the 10 young masters. The other first-rate rulers couldn't be underestimated either. Among them, there were some who were particularly mysterious. Based on Little Devil's analysis, they weren't weaker than the 10 young masters. They might rise up soon. Lin Fei was able to see the arrogant side of the powerful races. For example, the powerful dragon race didn't even wear their divinity armor and could directly crush their opponents. There were even some powerful races that could overwhelm their opponents with their own advantages. Lin Fei also saw young Master Fan attack. This guy was above 800 levels and was also peak 8-star ruler. He had accumulated a lot. This time, Lin Fei saw that he also had god veins. No wonder his strength rose so quickly. When he killed a clone last time, Lin Fei had his suspicions. If not for the level-up system, Lin Fei wouldn't be as good as him. Right now, Lin Fei didn't envy god veins. He had many god veins in his god pavilion, but he didn't refine them yet. Apart from young Master Fan, there was also ruler Su Feng. This woman he had captured before also had god veins. As for which branch, he didn't know. Her strength was also very strong. She was also smoothly breaking through. Lin Fei's horizons were broadened. He knew what kind of opponent he would face next. Very quickly, the second time was Lin Fei's turn. After the first time, many rulers were guessing. Could Lin Fei do it again? Could he win with one blade? If the first time was a coincidence, then what about the second time? If the third time? If the fourth time, they would have to consider this guy who had cultivated for over 100 million years. They would secretly treat him as a potential opponent. To these rulers, as long as one was treated as a potential enemy, they would pay attention and find a way to break through. That guy went up again. That guy won't be so lucky this time. Haha, he actually encountered the number 1 figure of the 600th level, Hegemon Emokuin, who is about to enter the 700th level. This is going to be fun to watch. I refuse to believe that Lin Fei can kill Hegemon Emokuin. That's right, they are from the subordinate forces of the demon mystic sect. As soon as Lin Fei went up, he felt the murderous intent enveloping him, a very strong killing intent, as well as the soaring demonic chi. Hegemon Emokuin was a genius of one of the vassal schools of the mystic demon sect. They were born with the powerful bloodline of the 9 stars ruler. After all, not everyone could obtain the god pulse, and the chances of obtaining the bloodline of the 9 stars ruler were higher. As long as I kill this kid, I can enter the demon mystic sect and become a core disciple. Hegemon Emokuin was still thinking back to Hegemon Yi Qing's words. A great opportunity was right in front of him. Hegemon Emokuin was extremely excited right now, and his bloodthirsty eyes were constantly staring at Lin Fei. The barbarian Hegemon had been defeated, and so Hegemon Emokuin felt that the barbarian Hegemon was useless. He had just entered the 600th level. How strong could he possibly be? However, he was different. As long as he won this battle, he would be able to enter the 700th level. His strength was not something that the barbarian ruler could compare to. The divine light dispersed. Soul-splitting palm. Although Hegemon Emokuin didn't take Lin Fei seriously at all, he had no choice but to remember Hegemon Yi Qing's words. He could not give Lin Fei a chance to make a move. He wanted to suppress Lin Fei right from the start. It was best not to give him any chance to attack. After all, the saber strike that had killed the barbarian ruler was too strange. Hegemon Emokuin didn't think much of it. Hegemon Yi Qing was the key to him entering the mystic demon sect. Naturally, he wouldn't disobey Hegemon Yi Qing. The first move he made was the soul-splitting palm. Black tornadoes of demonic chi were formed. Go! Not only that, but Hegemon Moken also produced a divine treasure. An enormous violet gold divine tree suddenly appeared in the air above Lin Fei. It seemed to take root in the air, instantly expanding to become hundreds of thousands of meters tall. One thick violet branch after another swept towards Lin Fei. This was the idea that Hegemon Yi Qing had come up with. So long as he could trap Lin Fei, he would be able to do whatever he wanted with a single word. Damn, this technique is incredible. He's using a treasure to trap Lin Fei? Why didn't I think of this? This seems to be a demon blood tree that specializes in absorbing blood essence. Wherever it appears, the entire region will become a cage. Lin Fei is going to be in big trouble now. Those who didn't recognize the tree immediately recognized what it was. Their eyes lit up. This was an excellent item for dealing with people, and the defenses of the demon blood tree were incredibly tough. It wasn't easy to break through it. Even they would feel their scalps go numb if they encountered it. For the sake of dealing with Lin Fei, Hegemen Moken's first move had been a vicious one. He didn't need to give up that little bit of face. He was just bullying the weak. Once he entered the mystic demon sect, who would dare say anything? Within Hegemen Yi Qing Senfu, a smile appeared on his face. Hegemen Yi Qing had spent quite a bit of effort in order to deal with Lin Fei and acquire the item. Now he had finally reaped some rewards. Thankfully, I gave the demon blood tree to Hegemen Moken, which innately limited Lin Fei's movements. I refuse to believe that his mastery of the Tao of space is that formidable. Hegemen Yi Qing happily pulled out a flask of immortal nectar, poured himself a cup, and began to drink it in a leisurely manner. If he could acquire the battle fort, he would have accomplished a great deed. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. The violet tree branches reached out like hands. The huge space was sealed in an instant. Lin Fei felt as though he had fallen into a cage. It had the same effect as when heaven and earth had trembled. Whoosh! Lin Fei left the demon blood tree. Just like last time, the violet shadows in the sky fell into thin air. The thunder-split saber appeared in his hand, and with a flash of arcing light, Hegemen Moken was sent flying. Did he escape? This was the only thought in Hegemen Moken's mind. Instantly, a strange surge of energy filled his body. With a feeling that made people's hearts palpitate, they saw Lin Fei spit out the word explode in a low voice before completely sinking into darkness. Yet another simple battle. Thank you for the mystic demon sect's treasures. Lin Fei put away the demon blood tree, beaming as he left the arena. Slash! Hegemen Yi Qing spat out some immortal nectar. Bastard! That bastard Lin Fei! Why wasn't the demon blood tree able to trap him? Why? Hegemen Yi Qing in the Senfu felt a heavy blow. Lin Fei had won yet again, and in such a relaxed manner. Yet another one of those damnable saber arts. What sort of saber arts did he train in? How could it be so powerful? Hegemen Yi Qing didn't really care about the death of Hegemen Moken. Losing a treasure was what hurt him the most. The demon blood tree had been incredibly useful, and now it had fallen into Lin Fei's hands. Just like that. Lin Fei's words were like a vicious slap to the face of the mystic demon sect. No matter what tricks they had up their sleeves, he would kill them with a single saber strike. Hegemen Moken died just like that. How terrifying! He was killed with a single saber strike as well. God damn it. Invisible attacks like this are the scariest. I'm still in the inner 600 level. What if I run into that fellow? Am I supposed to just admit defeat? Hegemen Moken had been defeated. To the people on this level, this wasn't good news at all. If even a treasure like the demon blood tree was unable to trap Lin Fei, then they didn't have any good treasures on hand. He didn't want to fight you. No matter how badass you were, you would still be stupefied by his saber strike. A terrifying gust of wind stealthily began to spread through the Hegemen's hearts like a sharp sword. It would slash down at them at any moment. This was an extremely uncomfortable feeling. That saber strike again. It's over. That fellow really hid his strength deeply. Killing Hegemen Moken was just the beginning. Next, everyone could sense the cold aura emanating from Lin Fei. Anyone who went up didn't care what method they had to use. He just used a single saber strike. And this saber strike was unpredictable and unpredictable. Even divine sense couldn't detect it. Naturally, everyone who went up was in for a tough time. Lin Fei rose from the 600th level slaying dozens of potential hegemons. Everyone received a single saber strike. There was nothing much to say. Lin Fei quickly broke through to the 700th level. On this day, the hegemons who hadn't run into Lin Fei all had tears streaming down their faces. They could finally let out sighs of relief. The great demon king in their eyes had finally left. None of them were happy to face a fellow who had only used a single saber strike. No matter how many times they wrapped themselves up, the result was the same. Some of the smarter hegemons set up layers of obstacles and used long-range attacks in the hopes of killing Lin Fei. This gave some hope, but the result was the same. They tried everything, but they were still defeated by a single saber strike. Lin Fei, that great demon king, can finally go and harm those fellows up there. Some people were completely drunk. From this, one could see that Lin Fei was the most unpopular person on this level because they couldn't see any hope. All they could see was the result. Everyone else had a 50% chance of succeeding. Lin Fei charged all the way to the 700th level. The potential hegemons on this level all had unsightly looks on their faces. That unremarkable fellow had finally slaughtered his way up and defeated someone they thought was a decent fellow. He had finally come to challenge them. They hadn't been mentally prepared for that saber technique. They hadn't been able to find a way to counter it. What would they do if they encountered that fellow? Many of them began to panic. They saw that Lin Fei had an unnatural expression on his face. Chapter 1614. This Dition deserves to die. At the peak of the Divine Mountain, the 5 rulers of the demon mystic sect had terrifyingly gloomy expressions on their faces. After listening to Hegemon Yi Qing's report, they had never imagined that the demon mystic sect would suffer such heavy losses on the divine altar. Most of the demon mystic sect's disciples had died. Dition had rushed to the 800th floor and shocked the world with his saber strike, leaving behind countless dead souls. Everyone's scalps went numb. All the rulers below the 800th floor were clapping and cheering. They were more afraid of Lin Fei than anyone else. Elder, most of the disciples of the 3rd step have already died, and 7 or 8 of the disciples of the 2nd step have also been lost. I think that if this goes on, it will have a great impact on the reputation of our demon profound sect, including those top disciples. Even those sects that have always been at odds with us have begun to vaguely try Dition, as if they want to make us fall again. Hegemon Yi Qing, who was on the other side of the sky screen, felt very helpless. This Dition was too strange. From the 600th floor until now, Hegemon Yi Qing still hadn't been able to decipher that saber strike. It was extremely mysterious. If one didn't personally touch it, they wouldn't be able to experience it at all. In other words, they wouldn't be able to accurately calculate the mysteries of the saber technique. This was why Dition was so terrifying. As Dition appeared like a dark horse and charged up, the sovereigns on the 800th layer felt a little uneasy. At the beginning, they might not have cared about Lin Fei, as he was one of those people who cultivated very slowly. Everyone present was faster than him. But now Dition was sweeping his way as an overlord. Everyone who fought against him paid with their lives. The potential rulers that the demon mystic sect had arranged suffered a major blow. Hegemon Yi Qing had been arrogant at the beginning, but now he was helpless and afraid. This was something that Hegemon Yi Qing didn't want to accept. Dition was about to attack. Hegemon Yi Qing wasn't sure if he was up against Dition. That saber strike was already so powerful. Who knew what kind of killer move would follow? Dition's entire body was covered by a mysterious veil. Hegemon Yi Qing had no choice but to report the situation. In fact, he wanted the elders to come up with a solution. Yi Qing, you are a potential hegemon of the mystic demon sect, but look at you right now. You're sighing and frowning. Do you really think that Dition is invincible? Hegemon Feng Su's voice was incredibly cold, and the temperature in the air instantly dropped. They knew that the demon mystic sect disciples were constantly dying on the divine altar. Every time they lost a potential ruler of the demon mystic sect, the hearts of the 5 dominator elders dripped blood, regretting that they didn't stop that guy from entering the divine pedestal at the first moment. Fong Su opened his mouth to curse, also to vent the anger in his heart. So many people couldn't even take down Di Tian. Where would the mystic demon sect put its face? Now, the remaining 7 sects were getting restless. Anyone would like to weaken the strength of the demon mystic sect. They couldn't wait for Di Tian to kill all of their people. It would be best if no one was left. With so many people, they couldn't even take down Di Tian. What about the demon mystic sect's face? Now, the remaining 7 major sects were all getting restless. Elder Fong, Yi Qing can't be blamed for this. Di Tian is too cunning. He hid his strength and deceived everyone. A demon mystic sect elder said. Yi Qing's words are actually not wrong. The first-rate sects below are watching us make a fool of ourselves. Di Tian's matter must be resolved. Another elder said, "You guys make it sound nice. Di Tian isn't a nobody now. If we want to get rid of him, our demon mystic sect has already paid a huge price. Could it be that we have to lose the disciples of the second stage? If that's the case, our demon mystic sect will probably be pulled apart by them, and it's a distance that can't be made up for. If the elders of the sect know of this result, we can all be sent to the battlefield to atone for our sins." As soon as this demon mystic sect elder spoke, the remaining 4 elders' expressions changed. Especially the word battlefield, it was as heavy as a mountain, constantly provoking them. They wouldn't go to that battlefield even if they brought them along. Who would be willing to go to that place without being an elder? Once they went, it was unknown whether or not they would be able to return. They could see this more clearly than anyone else. Hegemon Yi Qing couldn't help but sigh to himself. Di Tian, you've tormented the 5 elders of our demon mystic sect." Hegemon Yi Qing didn't dare to speak. It wasn't appropriate. He could only wait silently. "Report." A hegemon hurried in from outside the main hall. "Get out." Boom. Hegemon Fong Su barked loudly, sending the hegemon flying out. "Didn't I say that you aren't allowed to enter without our permission?" Hegemon Fong Su's voice was cold. "Fellow Taoist Fong Su, you have quite a temper. Is it not a big deal that I've come to see you? Or do you think that I'm a nameless nobody who isn't worthy of your notice?" A black-robed hegemon appeared at the entrance to the main hall and spoke in a strange tone. "Dragon Spawn, why have you come?" Hegemon Fong Su shot to his feet and stared at the black-robed hegemon. The other hegemons all stood up and looked at the black-robed hegemon. Their faces became serious. "Ha ha! The strongest disciple of your demon mystic sect, Hegemon Dark Saint, is about to marry our 1,000 goblins sect's Fairy Wuxia. She's the son-in-law of our 1,000 goblins sect. I heard that your demon mystic sect encountered a powerful foe named Lin Fei on the god pedestal. So I came to take a look." The black-robed hegemon had a monstrous aura around him, and a long tail covered in black scales swayed behind him. The 5 of them didn't dare to underestimate this black-robed hegemon because the 1,000 Goblins sect was also one of the 8 great sections. The strongest disciples of the 2 sects were about to join forces, and their relationship would become even closer in the future. The people of the demon mystic sect didn't really like the 1,000 Goblins sect. For example, this dragon spawn in front of them was a person with the dragon vein, but he wasn't born well. He could be considered an illegitimate child of the Dragon Clan and was excluded from the Dragon Clan. However, the dragon spawn inherited a powerful bloodline, and his cultivation speed was abnormally fast. He was secretly summoned by his powerful father, and in the 1,000 Goblin sect, no one dared to underestimate this dragon spawn. After all, he was a powerful dragon king in the Dragon Clan. Recently, the demon mystic sect had suffered a series of losses, and everyone had noticed it. The 5 of them weren't thinking about this when the dragon demon prince came. They were thinking about something else. They looked at each other. Could it be that the 1,000 Goblins sect knew about Lin Fei's background? If that was the case, today's conversation wouldn't be easy. The 1,000 Goblins sect wasn't that easy to talk to. Even if the 2 sects had connections, they would still fight for the benefits that they should fight for. Chapter 16:15. Dragon Demon Child came quickly and left quickly. Very quickly, he left the demon profound sect Senfu and returned to his own Senfu. How's the investigation going? There was more than one person in the Senfu. There were also a few rulers present. Their bodies emitted a tyrannical demonic chi, transforming into a large demonic kingdom. A little bit of demonic chi could transform into a powerful demonic puppet. Dragon Demon Child laughed. Those few things are very tight-lipped. They didn't say anything useful at all, and deliberately used words to brush me off. Fortunately, I'm not unprepared. They didn't know that our goal was not this, but to confirm one thing. Now, I'm very sure that Lin Fei has some big secret on him, and it's not as simple as the Demon Profound sect spreading the news. These people were all elders of the 1,000 Goblin sect. Recently, the Demon Profound sect's disciples had been continuously losing on the divine altar, and the 1,000 Goblin sect had noticed it immediately. There was even some news that led to today's scene. He's a guy who came from behind and has the potential to become a dark horse. No wonder the Demon Profound sect's disciples went to deal with him. It's a pity that they met a terrifying opponent. That mysterious blade attack attacked from the inside out. It was indeed impossible to defend against it. It might even be a new martial art created by the Demon Profound sect. 1,000 Goblins sect elder said. If we can get our hands on it, it will be of great help to our 1,000 Goblin sect. I think we can arrange for the people on the divine altar to contact Lin Fei and see if we can recruit him. I believe that the people from the Demon Profound sect will not make things difficult for us for one person. Even if we don't recruit Lin Fei, others will still recruit Lin Fei. The 1,000 Goblins sect had indeed taken a fancy to Lin Fei. A few of them had evaluated that if he continued to maintain this level, Lin Fei had a high chance of entering the 4th stage and fighting for the qualifications to become a divine general. They could also go and contact him now. No matter what secret Lin Fei has, as long as we recruit him, the secret will no longer be a secret. I believe that Lin Fei is not having a good time right now. Just the Demon Profound sect alone is enough to make him feel uneasy. Dragon Demon added. Then let's contact Fairy Wu Sha and ask her to contact Lin Fei. I believe that Lin Fei will not reject our goodwill if we go there with such an attitude. Aren't you taking it too seriously? After all, Fairy Wu Sha is our 1,000 Goblins sect's disciple, second only to Master Jin Yu. There's nothing inappropriate about it. Fairy Wu Sha's reputation isn't as great as Jin Yu's, so it's very appropriate for her to meet Lin Fei. After all, that guy has the strength to make us pay attention to him. I admit defeat on a divine pedestal. Lin Fei hadn't even attacked yet, but the sovereign had chosen to concede. His face was filled with fear, and he didn't even think about fighting. This wasn't the first time this had happened, nor was it the second time. All of this was accumulated from Lin Fei's terrifying slash. As long as they couldn't think of a way to break it, none of these smart, genius sovereigns would be willing to fight and lose their lives for nothing. Only those arrogant people wouldn't take this seriously. Lin Fei still liked people who knew how to make choices. It wasn't a good thing to lose one's life for the sake of face. Lin Fei himself had sent the opponent flying with a single slash, causing the opponent to vomit blood. He had won the battle. Although he could keep his life, the opponent would be sent out of the divine pedestal, and all the things he had obtained would be left behind. As for the 10th level of divine refinement, it would be completely stripped away. This could be considered good luck. The 856th level. Soon, Lin Fei returned to his senfu. This kind of battle didn't interest Lin Fei at all. He used divinity to transform it into divine power, and his attack power doubled. It was the same with the 9th level divine battle armor. It was just an increase in the number of slashes. There was no need to consider anything else. After returning to senfu, Lin Fei converted the opponent's divinity treasures into divinity points. It was very meaningless to use them to exchange. It was better to exchange them for divinity points to open the experience chest. 1,000 Goblins, Sex Wu Sha, is here to visit. Taoist Lin Fei, please come out. His divine sense spread out in senfu. A woman's voice? Wu Sha. Lin Fei knew who this person was. She seemed to be the second-ranked genius sovereigns of 1,000 Goblin sect. She was very powerful, like a fairy, and very beautiful. They can't help but have ideas. The corner of Lin Fei's mouth rose. He knew what was going on. The array has been activated. Taoist can come in. I am in the hall of senfu. Humph, this Lin Fei is so arrogant. He actually wants us to go in by ourselves. A young man next to a black-clothed fairy said with dissatisfaction. Now, the sovereigns on the 800th level were inexplicably afraid of Lin Fei. This guy was very strange. If Xiao Chen could continuously unleash the might of that saber strike, how could he fight? A power that could not be blocked was the scariest. Hey you, if you don't want to go, no one will force you. The black-clothed woman's voice was cold. I don't want you to affect my business. If you speak nonsense and affect my business, I don't mind killing you. Humph, I won't say anything. The black-feathered juggernaut didn't dare to meet the black-robed woman's gaze. The black-robed woman didn't look at Black-Feather Ruler again. She strode toward the senfu's main hall, leaving behind a beautiful curve. Bitch! Once my big brother becomes a divine general, let's see how long you can be so arrogant. When that time comes, I'll make my big brother betroth you to me. Humph! A strange look flashed through Hegemin Blackfeather's eyes, and he hurriedly chased after her. Fairy Wu Sha, I'm curious. Is a nobody like me worthy of your personal visit? Lin Fei clasped his hands behind his back and turned around. I'm afraid that the people outside will spread the news. The black-robed woman was Fairy Wu Sha. Taoist Lin Fei, you're a madman with a single slash. Why would you care about these rumors? Fairy Wu Sha was beautiful, and her personality was very wild. Moreover, I'm a woman, so I'm not afraid. This was also the first time Fairy Wu Sha saw Lin Fei up close. This was a somewhat mysterious man. He left a deep impression in a short period of time. His bloodline isn't high, but his power of the Great Path is somewhat different. Fairy Wu Sha observed secretly. This is strange. Lin Fei wasn't angry and said casually, You're from the 1,000 Goblin sect, and I'm just a wandering fellow. Just the demon mystic sect alone is enough to give me a headache, and now there's the 1,000 Goblin sect. I'm afraid that my life won't be easy. Ha ha ha. Lin Fei, you also know that offending the demon mystic sect and the 1,000 Goblins sect isn't a good thing for you. I thought that you weren't afraid of anything. The Black-Feather Ruler sneered. Get out. Lin Fei waved his hand, and a terrifying blade intent turned into a long bridge, crushing the Black-Feather Ruler. Bam, bam, bam. The Black-Feather Ruler only felt that his chest was attacked by a powerful force, and his entire body fell into the void. He blasted out of the senfu and smashed into a senfu outside, causing quite a commotion. The people who had been watching had already recognized it. Chapter 16:17. Bastard, you damned Lin Fei. I'm going to kill your whole family. On a senfu mountain, Ruler Blackfeather roared, his face extremely dark. The senfu ruler below wanted to come out and see what was going on. He was immediately scared off by the fierce look in his eyes. Ruler Blackfeather charged towards Lin Fei's senfu. He was so angry that he wanted to kill Lin Fei. as one of the famous genius disciples of the Thousand Goblins sect, even though he was not as powerful as his own big brother in the Thousand Goblins sect. No one dared to look down on him. They would still obediently try to curry favor with him and curry favor with him. When had he ever been thrown out of the immortal's mansion in one hit? He could only blame everything on Lin Fei for not knowing how to appreciate his kindness. Just as he was about to attack, Ruler Blackfeather calmed down. I can't attack the Senfu. Lin Fei is too sinister. If I attack, I'll be killed by the Senfu and lose my right to participate. Ruler Blackfeather felt helpless. He hated Lin Fei even more. Lin Fei hadn't given him any face and had kicked him out. He had lost face in front of everyone. Ruler Blackfeather waved his sleeves and left. Congratulations. You have another potential enemy. Ruler Blackfeather's big brother is Prince Goldfeather, one of the top 10 princes. After Ruler Blackfeather was kicked out, Ruler Blackfeather had a calm smile on her face. She thought to herself, this Lin Fei has such a bad temper. Blackfeather is so arrogant because of his big brother. I didn't expect to meet someone even more arrogant than him. He was kicked out with one attack. This power is terrifying. Lin Fei also said with a smile, I'm not afraid of lice anymore. Ruler Blackfeather had never seen such a calm person. The demon mystic sect alone was enough to give people headaches. If the Thousand Goblins sect was added to the mix, not many people would be in the mood to say such things. Ruler Blackfeather had finally seen the other side of Lin Fei. It was normal for her to kick Ruler Blackfeather out. What should she say next? Ruler Blackfeather could tell that Lin Fei wasn't someone who could be easily threatened. She didn't want to use threatening methods. Lin Fei was observing Goddess Blackfeather. This was the ruler who was famous for her beauty, the beauty of the Thousand Goblins sect. This black gauze fairy is not easy to deal with. Looks like the Thousand Goblins sect knew something and purposely came to test me. She didn't even say anything when I threw her out. Lin Fei had not casually thrown him out just now. In reality, he wanted to know what the attitude of the Thousand Goblins sect was. Right now, it seemed like the Thousand Goblins sect's attitude was very friendly, at least for now. However, how things would develop in the future was another matter. No one could be sure of it. My friend Lin Fei, I represent the Thousand Goblins sect to sincerely invite you to join our Thousand Goblins sect. Just as Lin Fei was waiting for the other party to say something, he suddenly heard these words. Hearing this, Lin Fei could not help but laugh. He really did come for this. This was the first invitation from one of the 8 great sects after he reached the 800th floor. Hegemin Ushcloth really wanted to see a look of shock on Lin Fei's face, but she was disappointed to find that he didn't show any expression at all. Yes, very indifferent. This made Hegemin Ushcloth very disappointed. It was very rare for the Thousand Goblins sect to invite an outsider to join them. No matter who it was, they would not be able to control their emotions. After all, the Thousand Goblins sect was one of the 8 great sections. My friend, don't be in a hurry to reject us. Before you leave the godly general stage, the doors of the Thousand Goblins sect will always be open to you. As long as you join us, we will give you the status of a core disciple. You will enjoy all kinds of resources, and your cultivation speed will be at least 100 times faster than now. Lin Fei stood in the Senfu and watched as Hegemin Ushcloth left. Facing the Thousand Goblins sect's invitation, Lin Fei did not reject, nor did he agree. From the beginning to the end, his attitude was ambiguous. He had to give people a little bit of hope. Master, your way of thinking is very bad. Little Demon cried out. The corner of Lin Fei's mouth rose. I have long heard that the Thousand Goblins sect and the Demon Mystic sect are going to have a marriage alliance. Now that they have come to recruit me, they must have come with an ulterior motive. Maybe it is because of my one-blade slash technique. I will not foolishly agree. If I really join them, I will not even know if I am eaten alive. Whether it was the 8 great sects or the 7 great sects, Lin Fei had never been to them before. Since the Thousand Goblins sect is here, I believe that those people will also act upon hearing the news. Master, you are going to be very busy. Little Demon laughed again. He Gemin Ushcloth left Lin Fei's Senfu. The news spread. On the godly general stage, everyone knew the name Lin Fei. This was a dark horse. The rulers on the 800 level all paid attention to him. They had all seen the losses of the demon mystic sect. Now that the #1 beauty of the Thousand Goblins sect had come to visit, one could imagine what kind of situation it would bring. The sects were not very calm. The remaining 8 great sects also began to hesitate, wondering if they should recruit Lin Fei. For the sake of Lin Fei, the demon mystic sect would not make things difficult for them, no matter how angry they were. Moreover, they wanted to find out if Lin Fei's one-blade slash was a top-notch technique created by the demon mystic sect. This was very important. For the next few days, people from the 8 great sects came one after another. Those rulers who had been paying attention to Lin Fei were obviously shocked. The Divine Heaven Palace is here to visit. The Profound Saint sect is here to visit. The Immortal Emperor sect is here to visit. The Bliss Palace is here to visit. The Fortune sect is here to visit. The Righteous sect is here to visit. The remaining 6 sects of the 8 great sects all sent their disciples over. Who could see such a scene? No matter what their motives were, just this point alone was enough to make the rulers here envious. When had there ever been a ruler that the 8 great sects paid attention to? If the 8 great sects paid attention to him, the 7 great overlords would probably pay attention to him as well. As long as one entered any of these sects, their future cultivation would be smooth sailing. It was not impossible for them to stand at the peak of their territory in the future. Those who had such thoughts weren't the only ones. No one knew which sect Lin Fei had agreed to enter. All sorts of gossips were heard. Lin Fei became famous because of this. Even though Lin Fei had some fame, it wasn't as sensational as when the people from the 8 great sects came to visit and let everyone know the name Lin Fei. Lin Fei was also pulled into the first rank of rulers. It had a certain impact. Chapter 1618. That guy's really fast. He won again. No one can stop his frenzied attacks. No wonder the 8 great sects all want to go find him. The fact that the 7 great sects were actively seeking out Lin Fei was a huge source of excitement for everyone else. All sorts of rumors began to spread. Everyone knew that it wasn't just the mystic demon sect that was targeting Lin Fei anymore. The other 7 sects were all interested and wanted to participate. Any one of them wouldn't dare to not give them face. There was no way they would actually start a war over a few people. After the 7 great sects, the mystic demon sect finally calmed down. However, everyone knew that the mystic demon sect definitely wouldn't let Lin Fei off so easily. The reason why they were so quiet was because they were trying to find a weakness. After all, that saber slash wasn't something to be trifled with. That bastard, Hegemin Yi Qing, was in the Senfu. Upon seeing Lin Fei charge up yet another level and reach the 879 level, Hegemin Yi Qing couldn't help but curse out loud. Ever since the 7 great sects had sent people over, Hegemin Yi Qing had been extremely displeased. Wasn't this just giving them a hard time? If this continues, it won't be good for me. Hegemin Yi Qing racked his brains, but when he thought of that transcendent saber slash, he was completely at a loss for what to do. Even now, he still hadn't been able to find a weakness. Lin Fei's reputation was growing more and more resounding, to the point where he was almost on par with the 10 young dukes. This was something that Hegemin Yi Qing didn't have. Senior apprentice brother is here. Suddenly, Hegemin Yi Qing let out a cry of delight and ran towards the Senfu's gates. A short while later, a black-robed youth walked back. Junior apprentice brother Yi, you've disappointed the elder. The black-robed youth's seat had been taken by Hegemon Yi-Ching. His voice was very cold, and there was no hint of brotherly love in his voice at all. Faint lightning flashed within the main hall, emitting rumbling sounds and an incredible aura of power. It was utterly astonishing. The black-robed youth raised his head. His left and right eyes were each filled with a world of lightning, filled with thousands of bolts of lightning. Even the slightest hint of lightning caused Hegemon Yi-Ching's forehead to be covered with cold sweat. Hegemon Yi-Ching quietly lowered his head. In front of his senior apprentice brother, all he could do was stand there obediently and not try to defend himself. Hegemon Yi-Ching didn't say anything, but in his heart he cursed Lin Fei 100 times over. When Hegemon Yi-Ching said that he wasn't afraid of anyone, he was definitely lying. This senior brother in front of him was born with a noble bloodline. Later on, he grasped the tyrannical great Tao of Thunder, and his strength was unfathomable. Even the sect's veteran core disciples were no match for this senior brother. Hegemon Dark Sage, one of the 10 great young masters. Lin Fei's matter has already attracted the attention of the 7 major sections. If we let it continue, it will not be a good thing for our demon mystic sect. Senior brother has already broken through the 900th floor, so it is impossible for him to do it himself. Now, among the remaining junior brothers, only you are strong enough. Whether we can stop Lin Fei or not depends on you. Black Saint Ruler's voice rumbled like thunder. Senior apprentice brother, you are absolutely right. But that Lin Fei... Hegemon Yi-Ching said, a hint of fear in his voice. That's not a problem, Black Saint said. I've done some research on Lin Fei. That saber attack truly is mysterious, and ordinary treasures aren't able to block it. If you want to block that saber attack, you'll have to attack your physical body. Only by ignoring his attacks will you be able to completely defeat Lin Fei. Hegemon Yi-Ching nodded repeatedly, but in his heart he mused to himself, who doesn't know about this? But if my physical body is only at this level, how can I possibly make a breakthrough? This is an Empyrean God Body pill. After consuming it for an hour, your physical body will be strengthened to an inconceivable level, comparable to an Empyrean God's body. Hegemon Black Saint pulled out a blood-colored pill. If you do this well, I will recommend you to become an inner sect elder. Hegemon Black Saint rose to his feet. Thank you, senior apprentice brother. If I really do run into Lin Fei, I'll definitely go all out and kill Lin Fei on the god's dais. The 7 major sects sent people to pay a visit, but Lin Fei didn't respond at all. The outside world was abuzz with activity, but he didn't care at all. Aside from opening the treasure chests, all he did was wait for the upcoming battle. Lin Fei had been keeping an eye on the rankings this entire time. Right now, there were at least 1,000 first-stage hegemons who had entered the 900th level. All sorts of mysterious experts had appeared as well. Previously, they had all been very low-key, but now they had all begun to show themselves. Quite a few of them were existences that even Lin Fei himself couldn't see through. More importantly, they all had Empyrean God bloodlines. This was the truly terrifying part. According to what the little fiend had said, anyone who had the Empyrean God bloodline would have an extremely mysterious background. Their cultivation speed was incredibly fast, and they were able to constantly make breakthroughs. They were more than 100 times more powerful than ordinary hegemons. More people have come? Lin Fei frowned. Ever since the 7 major sects had arrived, the representatives of the supreme hegemons hadn't sent anyone over. All of them maintained their silence and didn't make any moves. Lin Fei swept out with his divine sense and saw a gray-robed hegemon standing outside. He looked very ancient, as though he had lived for countless years. It's him. Emosia. Lin Fei had a very deep impression of this person. This person was very mysterious. He also had the Empyrean God bloodline. Lin Fei remembered that this person would always attack powerfully. Basically, he wouldn't use more than 3 moves. Up until now, Lin Fei hadn't seen him use more than 3 moves. Usually, he would be able to settle things with a single move. Lin Fei felt very strange that the demonic hegemon had come looking for him. Taoist Lin Fei, meeting me might not be a bad thing for you. The other party transmitted his divine sense. I wonder if you still remember this item? Lin Fei finally opened the door. This was because the other party had taken out an item, something that had left a deep impression on Lin Fei. Even though it wasn't of much help to Lin Fei now, Lin Fei still remembered it clearly. This was because the other party had taken out a primal chaos divine stone, something that came from the primal chaos dimension. Who exactly are you? The moment this person entered, Lin Fei's sharp eyes swept over the other party. The primal chaos divine stone had helped Lin Fei greatly in the academy back then. Now, someone actually took it out. Moreover, when he mentioned the scene on the stone platform back then, Lin Fei couldn't help but suspect the other party. You should know my name very well. The demonic hegemon said indifferently. Or are you afraid in your heart? Afraid of your wife and daughter outside? Boom! Lin Fei directly erupted with a tyrannical aura and pressed down on the other party. These words had indeed hit Lin Fei's soft spot. Anyone who brought a primal chaos divine stone and mentioned the academy's matter, Lin Fei would definitely suspect the other party's motives. Up until now, only Lin Fei knew about the secret. Chapter 1619. Lin Fei did not believe the other party's words. A fellow with a heavenly god's bloodline came here, and even took out a chaos divine stone. If this wasn't a threat, then what was it? This fellow's strength is a little unfathomable. He easily broke through my aura. He's much stronger than those rulers with potential. Moreover, he gives off a very dangerous aura. Lin Fei was a little surprised that the other party could easily break through his aura. Little Devil, help me scan this fellow. Lin Fei communicated with Little Devil. This person was mysterious. Lin Fei had to pay attention to him. After his aura was broken through, Lin Fei retracted his aura and said in a sharp tone, If you don't say anything useful, I think there's no need to continue this conversation. The fiend ruler smiled faintly and said, Young man, if it was 500 chaos years ago, someone with a temper like yours wouldn't even have the chance to reincarnate. I'll make you disappear from this world for real. Now that I'm old, my temper has also diminished. I won't bother with you anymore. An old monster who lived for more than 100 chaos years? Lin Fei secretly took a deep breath. No wonder he looked so old. Perhaps he had lived for more than 500 chaos years. If you take out a piece of divine chaos stone, will everyone calm down? Lin Fei retorted, I don't think so. I don't have much interest in becoming friends with you. Why don't you tell me your motive? Lin Fei sat down again. The fiend ruler looked at Lin Fei and suddenly laughed, as expected of someone with a temper. No wonder the demon mystic sect's disciples suffered so much in your hands. I like your temper. You should remember the Chaos Beast who helped you get the Chaos Divine Stone. He's from our clan, and I'm also from the Chaos Beast clan. So that's the case. From the moment the other party took out the Chaos Divine Stone, Lin Fei had been guessing the other party's origin. Your 18 primordial clones also came from that place. This is just an ordinary cultivation technique of our primordial beast clan. The devilish ruler said indifferently, You cultivate the cultivation technique of our primal chaos beast race. That means that you have a karmic connection with our primal chaos beast race. We should be friends and not enemies. Our primal chaos beast race did not do anything to your wife and daughter. Instead, we arranged for a few experts to stand guard outside the world. You don't have to worry about the 8 great sects threatening you with your family. Although the battle fortress is useful, it consumes too many energy points. Lin Fei almost blurted out how they knew about the battle fort. Even if the demon mystic sect suspected him, it was because someone leaked the secret. Apart from that, no one dared to confirm that the item was on him. At that moment, for a split second, Lin Fei felt that all of his secrets were exposed right before his eyes. Ding! Blocking function activated. The upgrade system automatically activated one of its functions. Lin Fei instantly felt an additional layer of barrier on his body. The feeling of being watched disappeared without a trace, as if it had never existed. This guy is really treacherous. Lin Fei gritted his teeth. A strange look flashed in the devilish ruler's eyes, but it quickly returned to normal. This Lin Fei is a little interesting. Of course, he didn't mean to do it. Now, the willow tree has grown into a shade. Just now, he was even able to block my spiritual peeping. He must be the best among the younger generation. The devilish ruler thought to himself. He had a higher opinion of this Lin Fei. Master, that guy just used a secret technique to spy on you. Luckily, my system blocked it for you. Little Devil said angrily. How's the analysis? Lin Fei asked. This guy is very strong. His strength has also been sealed. If the seal is undone, I'm afraid you will have to use your full strength. You might even need to use the celestial god, Set, to fight against him. His celestial god bloodline is estimated to be at the level of a 6-star celestial god bloodline. He should be able to completely control divine power. This guy is very dangerous. I suspect that his goal is not the deity general platform. Master, be careful, Little Devil warned. 6-star celestial god bloodline? Completely control divine power? No matter which one it was, the guy in front of him was very terrifying. Bloodlines were divided into nobility and nobility. Especially bloodlines of the same level, there were also stars. The higher the star, the more powerful the bloodline. It was also a threshold that couldn't be crossed. With a 6-star celestial god bloodline, the devilish ruler in front of him was extremely powerful. Lin Fei was thinking about what to say next. He did have a connection with the chaotic beast clan. He couldn't deny that he had received some favors from them. Back then, he had promised the chaotic beast clan to do something for him. He had never done it. Now that the devilish ruler had come looking for him, he had to be very careful. Actually, you don't need to be afraid. We won't do anything to you, the devilish ruler said. On the contrary, we admire you. You grew up with an ordinary bloodline. Who doesn't have secrets? You have them, and so do I. We came looking for you today to ask you to do something. It will be of great help to you. In fact, it's a win-win situation. Lin Fei didn't think that the devilish ruler had come looking for him to establish a relationship. Sir, you're stronger than me. Is there anything you can't do? If you can't do it, I can't do it with my strength. Lin Fei wasn't a fool. You're right. However, not everything is absolute. The devilish ruler laughed. Based on my eyesight, you've hidden a large portion of your strength. That blade of yours must have grasped a portion of God power. That's why you were able to break the God power treasure and kill them so easily. Lin Fei pretended not to know anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just an immortal. How can I grasp God power? The devilish ruler didn't get angry. He still said slowly, don't deny it. My eyesight is very good. That's not important. Do you know the ultimate use of the divine general platform? Do you think that it's an ordinary way to choose a divine general? I believe that you definitely won't think that way. This is just something those majestic fellows did on purpose. Lin Fei nodded. This place is indeed very strange. That's because the divine general platform is a place to choose representatives. It's a place that provides an endless source of power for the upper realm. What I want you to do is actually very simple. You just have to go up to the inheritance platform and place this seed on it. With that, a seed that emitted a blue glow appeared in his hand. Lin Fei actually couldn't see through this glowing blue seed. It felt very mysterious. That's simple. Lin Fei suspected that he heard wrongly. Why don't you go up yourself? Chapter 1620. Friendship? Friendship my ass. Lin Fei really wanted to say that, but he was shocked by what the other party took out. This thing has a familiar aura. It seems to be a part of the battle fort. Lin Fei's gaze landed on what the other party took out. The evil ruler was holding something in his hand. A black metal object. You should have guessed it. This is a part of the battle fort. You might not know this, but the battle fort of the war race has an outer part and a core part. Only when the two are combined will the battle fort be a true battle fort. It can unlock more functions, and this thing in my hand is the core part. The evil ruler said it very casually, as if he was talking about something insignificant. Would you be so kind as to give me such a precious thing? Lin Fei took a deep breath. From the moment the other party took out the black metal, Lin Fei could tell that the other party was not lying. This was indeed a part of the battle fort, and it was the most important part. The war race's item is good, but it's nothing to us primal chaos race. The evil ruler laughed. The battle fort can combine the inside and the outside to increase its attack power. It will undoubtedly be a great help to you. Lin Fei sneered in his heart. This guy really thinks I'm an idiot. If I really bring this thing over, without enough energy points, I can only stare at it. Luckily, he doesn't know that energy points are not a problem for me. Getting such a good thing for free seems like a good thing. Although he did not know what this blue seed was used for, there was one thing Lin Fei was clear about. It was definitely not a good thing. If he did not handle it well, it would bring him trouble. You can think about it. Whether you agree or not, we will give it to you. The black metal flew over and stopped in front of Lin Fei. The evil ruler stood up and left. The primal chaos beast race also appeared, and they even targeted the divine general platform. Interesting. Lin Fei reached out, and the black metal landed on his hand. He opened the system scan and scanned it from top to bottom, inside and out. After confirming that the other party did not tamper with the black metal, he relaxed. Lin Fei checked the battle fort again, and he really did find a missing part that matched the structure of the black metal. I can't waste a free gift. Let's take a look at the battle fort first. Lin Fei put the black metal into the missing spot. Hua hua, the battle fortress broke apart into pieces of black metal and reassembled itself in the air. F*CK, do you have to do this? Lin Fei admired the war race's people for coming up with such a method. He was even more interested in the war race, and seeing how the primal chaos beast race could easily take out such a thing. He didn't dare to look down on them. The reconstruction of the battle fort took half a day. Half a day later, a new black battle fort appeared. Compared to the previous one, this one looked even more majestic and domineering. Lin Fei could sense the danger even more clearly. The battle fortress floated in the air like a terrifying demon king, giving off a terrifying aura. Especially around the battle fort, the pitch-black cannons gave people an inexplicable sense of fear. Anyone who looked at it would feel their scalp tingling, and they would fall into a state of fear. Such a terrifying aura, it's at least 10 times stronger than before. Lin Fei looked up and down before entering the battle fort. The interior had also changed, to the point where Lin Fei almost couldn't recognize the core component that the evil ruler took out had such an effect. Lin Fei used his divine sense to look around, and in the central region he found the central control hub and appeared in the central region. Hua hua hua! At the central control hub, the space fluctuated and countless light spots gathered. A human figure appeared, and the face became clearer and clearer. A middle-aged man appeared in front of Lin Fei, just like that. Respected Master, welcome to the battle fort. I am the battle fort's manager, number 157632. If Master doesn't like it, you can give me a new name. This war race really lived up to their name. Lin Fei thought to himself, Master, this guy is a virtual existence. He can connect with the entire battle fort and he can only exist. He's like your helper. Little Devil ran out and said, "This can be done." Lin Fei said, "If the number's too long, it doesn't sound good. From now on, you'll be called Battle Number 1. Little Devil rolled his eyes. What a good name. Who asked him to have a master like this? This wasn't the first or second time already. Thank you, Master, for the name. Battle Number 1 said, "Tell me, what are you good for? Don't tell me you don't know." Lin Fei asked casually. After the battle fort was rebuilt, it brought about such a change. Lin Fei naturally wanted to understand it. If it could be controlled by a super overlord, it naturally wouldn't be an ordinary item. Before this, Lin Fei was still thinking that the battle fort's reputation was a bit too big, and its attack power seemed to be slightly lacking. Now, it seemed like the battle fort's previous power was only on the periphery and didn't touch the battle fort's core. "Master, come with me. I will explain the complete battle fort to Master." Battle Number 1 moved to the periphery of the battle fort and pointed at the rows of black cannons. "Master, this is the giant war cannon. It is one of the most common attacks of the battle fort. Its attack power can easily kill an 8-star Dominator. The entire battle fort has a total of 108 giant war cannons. This is much stronger than the previous battle fort." Lin Fei was very satisfied with this giant war cannon. When he heard that one shot would consume 5 million energy points, he immediately felt a little unhappy. 108 shots at once was really not something that an ordinary person could withstand. For a second or third-rate sect or family, Lin Fei had no doubt that one round of the giant war cannon would completely destroy the sect. 2 or 3 rounds of the giant war cannon would be enough to remove the sect's name. Perhaps even the 9-star Dominators would have to run away pathetically. "Master, this is an enhanced giant war cannon." The battle fort was a huge fortress building. Battle Number 1 led Lin Fei to the highest point of the fort. There was a black cannon erected there, emitting a black glow. This is used to deal with the 9-star Dominators. Every time it is activated, it consumes 10 million energy points. Standing next to the enhanced giant war cannon, Lin Fei could feel its power even more clearly. The power of the black cannon's mouth was even stronger. He didn't doubt the power of this giant war cannon at all. The 9-star Dominators would definitely not feel good if they were hit by it. If they were not careful, they might even die.